was worried
God.
I was worried my mic didn't work.
Holy
Blake.
sweet sinful Christ!
Blake, you have no idea how
May
long
God have mercy upon all of us tonight.
Listen, whatever fucking beef you have with me, save
Me?
it.
I don't
Not
have
you.
a single goddamn
Not
thing.
you, Dylan, and for wanting to talk to me. I don't know what you might want to talk about, but just saying that now.
Can I say something real quick?
What?
We don't even know why you left the server.
Pretty sure I heard one too many fucking Nambla jokes, so I decided, fuck it. I'm done.
Okay.
I wasn't even a name
Like
I remember exactly what it was. Seamus was making fun of you for having retarded Twitter opinions.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about too.
Huh?
I mean...
Hold on.
Yeah, of course. No, take your time. Oh my god. You can get an Isabel Nindoroid for only $46 on Amazon right now.
Don't do this, Dylan. Save up your shit.
Dylan,
Look
no.
at her! She's got little fucking shit! She comes with a little fucking Mario question mark, dude! I'm not gonna buy this. I'm just saying that.
Have you even, like...
One sec. I'm in the middle of a stream.
God damn it!
Of course you are.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
I'll get back.
Time is a flat circle.
Okay.
Goddamn, dude, Hitman is a dense fucking game. I've been playing one mission for like 2 hours now.
Ouch. What game is it?
Hitman.
Oh, then I didn't
I'm
even
not
know they were making a
playing the new
third one.
shit. I'm not even playing the new shit. I'm still playing the old shit. But
Wait,
anyway,
you're
Blake,
playing-
Please, you have the floor.
You're playing the
They have
original?
a thing. No, so the new ones, the PS4 trilogy, they have a thing where if you buy the new ones, you can. If you have the old ones, all the maps get migrated over, and if not, you can buy them as DLC. So I dropped 30 extra bucks to do it, but I got fucking
excuse me.
effectively I got Hitman 1 and 2, and it's not like
Nice.
just the maps either. Like it's all the story and shit. So for 90 bucks, I got 3 games, so not too bad, assuming that they're good.
It's pretty based.
But I've not heard anything bad about any of it.
Yeah, it's Hitman. Exactly what you expected.
Yeah, it's a big old. It's a sandbox. It's like a puzzle box.
Okay, so hold on. Okay. Sorry, I decided to do the big autistic at the start of my stream at somebody, which I'm sure you guys are. I actually no, you guys don't know. But anyways,
What
Dylan,
happened?
what did you want to talk to me about?
Well,
talking
I mean,
about
now I want to talk to you about this. What the fuck happened?
So you know that fucking asshole KIRIFUDARED?
No.
Well,
Asian dude.
yes, Asian dude.
I'm not even sure he... I saw the fucking thing about him. I'm not sure he,
Oh, he's going on a fucking tirade right now on Twitter, which is, by the way, hi asshole, why don't you fucking comment in my chat if you've got the balls? Or you can fucking take a fucking fucking join the server and attack and confront me head on, but you're not going to because you have no balls.
Time is a flat circle. For the record, Blake, I wish I could fucking... Blake, you know me. I'd love to be a part of this. I can't see it because you blocked me on every fucking social media platform, you fucking idiot.
I know. I was just mad because you fucking made fun of that phrase. I'll unblock you. I don't care.
What What phrase did I make fun of?
Date mates. Which, what else am I supposed to say? Partners? Actually, that would have made more sense. Never mind.
Yeah, you could have said, well, I don't know. What's your relationship to that fucking person?
KIRIFUDARED? I hate him.
No, what's your relationship with the date mate?
Those are the two people I'm dating. What?
Behave. I'm gonna behave.
Perez, do you think it's funny? Did you
Yes, I think it's fucking hysterical.
think that I managed to get 2 bitches and you got none?
Blake, it's a joke that best plays out over time.
We can play. Look.
But I am not the center focal of tonight.
We gotta
Don't.
pace ourselves. First off, unblock me because I need to see your Twitter because it's the worst Twitter I've ever seen.
Fuck you.
Come on. It is.
It is.
Also, Sirix
It
in the
is,
chat.
and if I can see, and if I can see that, you should probably fucking.
Also, Sirix in the chat. I know it's you, but this server doesn't like you, so sorry, man. You can't join this call.
Well, hold on one second. I recently opened a proto server, I guess.
Here, let me.
I recently opened another server. Let me invite you there. We can do it there. You can post this link. Literally, let's call it a burner server. I don't give a shit what you do in this server. Bring in whoever you want. Show them whatever you want. No holds barred.
Unblocked. That's by the way.
All right, hold on one second. Let me find you in here. Here, you know what? I'll just copy a link. This is good for like however fucking long.
Also,
You can post this Discord link wherever you want. Join it up. We'll move over there.
why don't you just post it in the chat?
All right. I think Twitch automatically stops that.
No,
But
it just threw it up.
I-
It's fine.
All right. Well, you got to move over to this one, man.
Okay, let me bip.
Fuck.
Is everybody else coming, or is it just
Yeah, hold up.
Pussy Crushers Anonymous? Of course it is.
How's everyone going?
Hey, people.
What's up, Sean? It's been forever since I fucking spoken to you. What the fuck?
Yeah, man, what happened to the Stardew Valley? I even started playing that game, like, legit on my own.
Oh,
I actually...
I don't know. We just stopped talking. I apologize for that, but I guess you got busy?
Actually, yeah, I've got like a job and all sorts,
Hold on, I need to raise your volume because I can barely hear you, man.
See, Rex,
I can fix that. No, I'll fix that. Hold on, give me a second.
No. It's fine now because I just...
It's fixed. Is that better?
Yes. Also, now you are fucking loud. Holy crap.
Yeah, I just mic boosted it on my client. I had it like turned down because...
And I just maxed you out on my client. Great. It's gonna be fucking loud as shit. Hold on. Let me lower you back down. There we go. 143 should be fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anywho.
How you been, man? How you been, man? We haven't talked in ages.
Oh, great. There's an echo. Who's echoing?
What do you mean an echo?
Doesn't matter. It looks like. I'll make another comment. Anyways,
Was that the echo again?
Yes.
Hold on, okay, so I have this issue and I need to fix it when certain things. Well, like if I actually watch, like my system audio keeps interfering with my mic audio right now. Probably need a new headset, but I'm too cheap to buy one. But yeah, so if I actually try to watch the stream at all, you'll hear it, so I won't.
I mean, if you'll have to mute the stream, then do so.
Yeah.
You don't
I
need.
just did.
I mean, you have to mute it anyways because you're on.
Yes,
No, I
you are.
am. I just want to see how I sounded on stream. You know. I'm just curious. Yeah. See how much of a fucking retard I sound.
We're all retards in this server.
Excuse me?
Oh, hi, Sensei. It's been fucking... all the old
You don't...
the old people.
Good news. You've got a pretty healthy stream running, like your delay isn't bad.
Yeah, it's surprising, because I am one floor above my router, so one would think, you know. The Wi-Fi would be kind of ass without a
When I
booster.
stream... No, when I
No,
stream, it's
Wi-Fi,
pretty much the
Wi-Fi
same.
rises.
Oh,
No,
what?
that's not true. But no, it's actually, I think it's also dependent on your Wi-Fi card, the hardware of the router, and also if you're using 5 gigahertz versus 2.5, you're gonna have a faster speed as well. Because the 2.5 frequency is also occupied by Bluetooth and a bunch of other like random things, while 5 gigahertz is just Wi-Fi only.
Huh.
So it's a little less polluted.
Okay.
Learning on stream. Facts.
This has been learning on the stream with a bunch of Discord retards. Yeah.
Learning with retards. The more you know.
The more you know.
You are making a direct. Okay.
No,
You
grow
are
up.
making the active decision to learn from retards. So what does that say more about your character, Blake?
Eh.
Um,
I'm fine with it.
the character of ironic humor.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, let me.
I expect your retard paper to do that by tomorrow.
Steve runs.
Hold on, let me fix this. This is actually starting to piss me off. Not you. I need to check something in my sound settings because I think I may have done something really dumb.
Anyways,
I didn't.
I think it was Dylan that wanted to ask me something, wasn't it? At the start.
Well, I mean, you joined, so I assumed you had
Mhm.
something to bring up or talk about.
Well,
name?
no, it's because the other server I frequent, everybody was like, nah, we're all too low energy to stream. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let me come back. Let me.
What was the server that I am not welcome in?
The main server, Dylan's main server. Is it Dylan's?
Oh yeah. No,
Which
it's
one's
not
Dylan?
mine.
Which one's
Dylan?
Dylan?
It's Devilman's.
Oh, is
Okay,
But
I don't know who
I don't
any of
even
these.
think he'd be I don't think he would care.
Yeah, I don't
Shit.
even know. I don't even know who these people are anymore. My life has been changed. I've had like a lot going on.
what happened?
But,
I mean, I was under the impression
bad.
you were going to bring someone in to fight them.
No, because like I said, KIRIFUDARED's a fucking pussy. He'll fucking get into
Nah.
big public fights on Twitter, but then, and when somebody calls him out, he gets fucking scared as shit. Because he's
Well,
a.
what
Yeah.
exactly did he do? Let's go. Let me look into it. Let me walk me through this. Let me brainstorm like this.
He's constantly been attacking anybody who calls him on his shit. He's. I know.
Okay, but
there's,
what's his shit? That's what I want to
that's
know. What's his shit?
Basically attacking anybody who disagrees with him. Anybody who
All right.
tells him you're being
But
into
about
fucking.
what?
Blake, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Blake, are you stimming or are you
I don't have a.
bouncing on dildo?
I'm bouncing
Yeah,
on
I
my
was gonna
dad,
say.
you fucking tweet.
Okay, yeah. I was
He's
gonna
zero,
make the
he's,
joke.
he's 0-2.
He sounds. He looks like he's happy. He looks like he's sitting on a dildo and just like vibing on that dildo.
I am vibing, but yes, this is my stim. I don't have a rocking chair anymore.
Yes, and yes. Now just think, a year ago, this would have been a really bad conversation to have.
The sway has been replaced with the bounce.
That's this way, and then oh no, actually I can't even say the henshin hands have been
Shui.
replaced either.
The shrine.
I was doing massive fucking henshin hands when I was screaming my head off at the start of the stream. But no, just anytime somebody disagrees with him, he'll go on this massive fucking tirade about, no, you're the bad guy because this, and this, and you can't and say I'm wrong because of this, because I was a sex trafficking survivor. I was a fucking, I got attacked on a subway, and it's just like, nobody cares. It doesn't,
Yeah,
listen,
Also,
you don't,
that
it
sounds
doesn't
like,
matter if you got attacked. That doesn't give you permission to attack others.
Yeah. It's also like I'd be curious how legitimate his story is because the way he's using it, like people who deal with certain things don't tend to want to talk about them. You know?
Like, well, hold up. We're obviously being cut in towards like a halfway through, and what is the things that y'all argue with him about specifically?
Just him attacking other people for the smallest shit. Like he attacked somebody for having and this is a really dumb phrase to use, but it's true. A comfort character, or basically, so Dylan, somebody he likes to have Kamen Rider Valkyrie as their waifu, and he gets all up in arms because it's fetishization of Asian people. It's like, no, they just like this character. Fucking
Sure, all right.
get off your dick.
See,
What?
like, that seems like a silly thing to get angry about, but I also feel like your response is a little disproportionate.
Yeah, I also like to know, like, what the fuck? Why do you care?
Because
like, you should try to meet the problem with like a fucking proportionate response for the most part.
I mean, he's been doing this for 6 months almost.
Yeah, but like
Bait?
exaggerating your response to stuff over like little things, like I don't know. I'll say this much: as an outsider, when I see anytime people try to like elevate their conflict to make it seem like a bigger deal.
Oh, hi, you fucking piece of shit! Hey,
Like,
it looks like you finally showed up.
Who is this
Guess
man?
who's
Who
in
is
the
this man?
fucking chat, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, can
Blake,
you
you're gonna blow your load too soon.
Blake,
You gotta get some endurance.
Blake,
my guy.
this is why people don't watch you stream. Blake,
Sorry,
this is why people don't
sorry,
watch
let
you
me-
stream, because you are literally like, hell, screw Discord, because we can all client it. Your stream, it's a lot. Yeah, you should for the sake of your streamers, you shouldn't put them through the effort of lowering the entire audio because it's gonna piss people off.
But no,
From a-
Yeah.
fucking
From someone-
hold on. Let me address the chat.
As
Hey.
someone who sometimes also streams.
That's it.
Hold on one second.
Let me address the chat, please. To answer your question, I admit that I mucked it up, Indy. I admit that was wrong of me, but that doesn't. But you being attacked doesn't it admit and
I have a
doesn't
question, I have a
excuse
question.
your fucking actions.
Okay,
Also,
yeah, no.
there's the Discord link. Get in here, you fucking pussy.
Well, no, because
No.
if he joined, hold on one second. Let me take the reins here. First off, if he joined after I posted the link, he's not going to see it. So I'll post it. That's
I'll redo it. I'll
post
do it.
Hold on
I'll
one
do it.
second.
I'll do it.
Yeah, post
Fine.
it.
There's-
Let me
I'll break
read.
it up.
Well, he hold on one second. So he posted his Twitter thing. So I'm going to read this because for context, and I feel like I'm not getting it very clearly. So hold on one second.
Weird white men. You know,
Hold
there
on.
are fucking Hispanics in here as well.
I-
But you've made a
can't-
long history of
well,
saying stuff like
Can't
misgendering
use-
people, saying that any black men who disagree with you are Uncle Tom bootlickers.
Wait.
I know
Blake,
you.
Blake,
Did I
have you
just become
seen
a
have you played Yakuza 7?
No, I haven't even gotten through Yakuza 0.
You gotta be more like Ichiban. You gotta wait your turn. So hold on one second. We gotta take this one bit at a time. So I'm gonna read this out to the chat since
Ash
whatever.
forgives you, I don't.
Let me read this here. This is from KIRIFUDARED, who I guess is the person we're fighting tonight. Like, it's just sort of. I'm trying to move with the punches here.
Ah yes, internet drama. I thought I escaped all this. Dude, I don't even. Yeah, what do you mean I want to assume? Just make an assumption. The guy in the general. But yeah, no. What I was gonna say, I had a thing I was gonna say. Fuck. Oh yeah, I thought I'd gotten away. I think this internet drama shit's pointless. A lot of times I'm just
It
kind of
is.
bored tonight. Like, all my friends are asleep because I don't got school tomorrow because my school has in-service tomorrow. So and I don't got work because I got the next 3 days off.
All right. Well,
So
that's
I'm
a
up.
sign already. Anyways.
What? What is?
Whatever. All right, I'm gonna go through this. So.
What's a bad sign? Me?
I'm trying to fucking shut
Oh,
up.
you. Sorry.
Everybody let Dylan read.
So as far as I can tell, this is the origin of this particular spat. Is Blake posts a couple screen caps here of Kirifuda's Twitter. This first one says I guess he's exposing another person.
Yes,
That feels
exposing,
too-
except his exposure was a complete fucking lie.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Maybe, but you can't start with your conclusion, Blake. You gotta fucking. We have to like set it up before we can give an answer.
Anywho,
Hold on a second. Let me set the video. Also, C-Rux,
Like-
if you could, you should try to put on push to talk, so that way your keyboard doesn't come through.
I've got to
Can you
mute
unban
my.
me from your Twitch
Yeah,
I'll
so
just
I can
mute.
set-
Alright, so Kirifuda is quote-unquote exposing another person in this whatever. That feel when you use your donation money to buy yourself a CSM IXA driver. God, the naming schemes for these is awful. Without telling, and are about to go dark for claiming someone's hate crime was done for sympathy likes because they called you out on lecturing people of color how to react to racism. People don't have any... Brevity is the essence of wit. I'm just gonna put that there. So, okay. Someone responded to him. That person did not use the donation money to purchase the belt. I was in the call with him when he pre-ordered it back in the summer before he lost his job due to COVID. The money he used was not donation money, but money from his then stable income. Alright? That seems like a very reasonable response.
I don't... Can someone send this to me so I can read it myself? Because, like,
Yes.
hearing you
Yeah,
third
here, I'll
party...
post. Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's harder to understand. I need to, like...
No, I've 100%. I'll post it in whatever. There you go.
Cheers.
You can read it there. If you want to join, there's a Discord link. Join up, read it. That's fine. You can do do whatever you want here. Don't give a shit. Anything short of child porn is fine.
Short of... I mean, that should be just straight out... That should just be a straight out no. I mean...
Yeah, that,
fuck.
So
I know
here's
what you
another
meant,
one. Who I guess is this whatever person, but
Yes.
this is I would assume this is from a public Facebook account.
I
I
believe
don't know
so,
where this
yes.
one comes from.
Yes.
If it, I'll just say that much. If your information is publicly available, it's not really doxing or anything like that. I don't know. That seemed like it was going to come back up. But I'll hold my tongue on that one.
So, first things first, what is a CSM LXA driver? What's a
It's
CSM?
a toy. It doesn't matter. It's a common rider. It's a common rider toy. But the point is, it's a luxury. I guess this dude lost his job. He asked for donations because he was on hard times.
No,
What the hell? Why would you buy that with donation money? Why
No,
don't you
that's
buy,
not
like...
what
Well,
happened.
no.
You just... we
Yeah.
just explained it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
see,
I'm
Rex,
reading
read the
through-
next one.
Okay.
Person says, "No, I was with him. I was there when he bought that. He pre-ordered it when he had a stable job and it was already paid for.
I
He
hate
didn't
Twitter.
show up
So it's
until
not...
whatever. If
I
you're
hate
on
Twitter.
mobile, if you're on mobile, there's multiple pictures to this.
No,
so
no,
you'll
no.
have to click it.
No, I hate Twitter because I'm on PC, but I clicked like the one below it, not the one to the right, because I didn't realize how it was formatted. So I'm like, oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And then this last one says, a reminder: I don't fuck with woo includes. Re-ace discourse. What a shitty sentence. If you do, you are probably white and performatively woke in a way that shows you didn't grow up somewhere where you could be thrown in jail for being gay. Sorry, you're shitty country town ass homophobic, and you now feel like anyone who claims oppression is yours. Pretending AIDS suppression is anywhere near on that level is fully disgusting. So, and then the final one is presumably
Somebody from TwitchCon.
Okay, I'm getting very this is where I'm starting to lose the plot. Where does this whole rant here, the third slide, I believe it is.
All right.
Hold on.
I
Let me
assume-
address the fucking the reason. So tell me, Indy. Hey. So you don't fuck with people who have been murdered and correctively raped for being asexual. Oh. You don't fuck with people who regularly get kicked out of the LGBT circle for being pretty much straight. When they're around actual straight people, especially religious straight people, they get harassed into fucking killing themselves or get killed themselves.
All right, hold on one second. We still got like 2 layers to go here. So hold on one second. So this is what Kirifuda posted in Blake's chat a moment ago. It was a Twitter link. It was the first thing they posted. I don't know what this person is. I don't know what anyone is anymore. Watch a TV
This man
show
has
where-
forgotten
I watched a
to go
TV
live.
show where a shriek was a living person, so I'm kind of, whatever. Quote, report this for posting my real name. Blake's gone too far in refusing to acknowledge his racism and claim I am the real bigot.
You fucking misgendered me, you son of a bitch!
Calm the fuck down, because yelling just makes you seem immature and you have no grasp of the situation, so you need to calm your shit. I mean, even if you're angry...
It's they!
you need
It's
to-
they! Did it right!
Oh my god, dude, just calm down. And people assume it's a mistake, because if you assume...
No, my fucking... And I've...
That was well said, C-Rux.
Like me, if I do that, Blake, I like prior to your whole what is it now? Gender fluid? I don't know. It's been a while since we talked. I've always referred to. I didn't even know that until you just said that. To be honest, me, I'm gonna make. I'll make that mistake a lot. Yeah,
but anywho,
dude, there's been a lot. How long has it been since we talked? How often do we talk?
I'm sorry to interject, but Blake, can you please
all right.
ban me from your chat?
Yeah, you really need to you really do need to like calm down though, because if you
Antonas, what'd you ask?
Yeah, it just makes you.
Please unban me from your chat.
Oh, unban. Let me find chat settings.
In your, yeah, it's in your streamer settings.
Reviewed unban requests.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh, this guy's been ranting in the chat, and I haven't been reading it. Hold on.
All right, well, hold on 1 second. We have to go sequentially. So let me finish this. Let me finish reading this real fast. Next post. Blake Diamond is one of the next decade supporters who has been part of the ridiculous racist conspiracy theory that I quote faked my hate crime for sympathy likes. Blake has now posted my full name, which I do not share on Twitter, and I encourage you to report him. So I will say, like, as if the accounts are linked in any such way, I think that's, you know, if you're under the same, you have the same profile picture on both.
Well,
like,
here's the other thing: it's if I Google your Twitter, can I find your Facebook? Like, if it's a private Facebook thing, that's a little fucky. But if it's a public Facebook, you have the same photo in both. It's not that. I think that's a little. I think that's a little petty. Actually, this reminds.
I need to
check if I'm vulnerable to this. I actually should make sure I'm not susceptible to this problem because I.
What is this? What is this hate crime that gets brought up?
Yeah.
Give me the deets on that.
Ah, crap! I fucked up my Streamlabs. Hold on. I need to. Well, looks like I have to actually watch on Twitch. There we go. Oh, bip.
Kirifuda is saying that it's a private account. So if it's a private account, yeah, that's a little fucky. But I don't know if Blake necessarily knew that or not.
I didn't.
I will go over everything, Kirifuda.
Okay,
I will address everything you're saying in the chat. I'm trying to understand as much as I can right now. I'm not
a white
like
person
deliberately
claiming that a POC has made up their hate crime for sympathy is racist.
Again, I addressed this at the start. I admit that I mucked up.
What's a POC? What's
person of color. I admit that I fucked up by saying that.
Fuck's sake.
I said it at the start of the stream that I fucked up.
I got a POC, a pretty oversized clip.
If someone found
no, it's not as catchy as the
Okay, so I got a question. So who's this? Edie? How do I say this guy's name? I don't care. Person. Then I'm gonna call him person or them person, I guess. I don't know. Is it a them? Is it a he? Is it a she?
Them, I believe.
Usually when I see you, okay. So since I was like 12, every time I see a username on the internet, I've always said he, just because it's what I grew up with.
I think a lot of people do. A lot of people default to like what your avatar is when they talk to someone.
Yeah.
Like if you have a woman in your avatar, they'll call you she or her, and if you have a man, it's he or him.
Well, admittedly, this person has a bug for their. I think it is. I don't know what that is for their profile picture, so we can't use that. But you never apologized on Twitter, which is funny because Twitter is meaningless. I don't. What's ATCH? I don't.
You misspelled watch.
Oh, I see.
But fine, I will tweet when this is.
Where you've been claiming. Okay, so I got a question. This in Dishimurai, dude. If Blake apologizes to you, regardless of where it is, why does it have to be on public Twitter? Why can't you just accept? I mean, this stream's public. It's live.
Yeah, this stream is public.
What you want?
Well,
no. What he wants is the sort of the public. I win. You're being a petty asshole. I don't even. You can be right as all shit. You're being a petty asshole at this point.
Well, I'm gonna defend them on this point. No, let's be honest here. Even if it's all the same person, every one of your social media accounts is effectively a bubble. And it's like a Venn diagram. There's a lot of people I follow on Twitter that are like streamers or have podcasts and shit like that. And I don't interact with that stuff at all. So it's very possible, like you saying, hey, I'm sorry on this avenue where the people, the problem is in Twitter. So Twitter people aren't going to see that if you're just because you're on your Twitch account. It's more meaningful if it's on the same.
Okay, then Blake.
platform.
Hey Blake,
What's up?
I got a question. So, do you have your Twitter on your computer? Like, can you just like essentially what I'm seeing? And again, I don't fully understand what's going on here. I'm a bit of a fucking normie, honestly. With all this shit. I mean, which is funny because I used to like be like involved in everything, and the things I'm not a normie in are like weird.
All right, hold on. Shaz
Just- can you
Fies.
just-
Hold on.
Can
I'm
you just
addressing the
go on
chat.
your-
His tweets. First of all, they get my fucking pronouns right.
Okay, so firstly, I wanted to say tweets
Let's
are
like,
not assault.
they're still up. That's because I'm
That's-
streaming right now. I'll address this when the stream is over.
Oh my god, dude, just
I,
log into your Twitter. You have just Alt Tab, go to open a new browser window. It takes you like a minute or two to just say, "I'm sorry,
Well,
I was wrong."
Hold on,
can
I
we
feel
end
like I want to keep going on this first because I feel like we should still keep. I want to get everything aired out here. All right, hold
Okay.
on 1 second. I still don't
I'm
really
just
know
saying.
what. I'm not sure what. Because I'll be honest, I don't know if Blake necessarily should.
Okay,
I'm
well,
gonna
I'm
go
just saying
over-
if Blake, okay, put it like, if Blake should apologize, just fucking do it. But demanding a Twitter apology, to me, that's petty. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe I can sort of understand the whole. Okay, well, they're not going to look at all the media, so fine. But it is this is to me just so petty because it's like, fine, if you're wrong and you believe you're wrong, Blake, it'll take you like. I mean, you have a phone for fuck's sake. Do it from
Yeah,
your
that
phone.
was
You don't have to exit the stream. I would like, look. I have my phone's acting as a webcam, but. And I
Yeah.
had my webcam
Alright,
off
what-
because I like
real
having a
fast.
webcam.
Indishinamori. God damn, I fucking hate the weird names. Who I assume is Kirifudared.
That is.
I guess it could just be okay.
It is.
Real fast. Quote: I'm not
Okay.
going into your Discord, so a bunch of weird white men can yell at me.
So,
Number one, I'm a member
for-
of the tribe. Thank you. I'm I'm the superior genus.
I
Hold
want
on,
to just say
what?
also why does okay I want to can I just point out
My
like,
name, my father's name is Elron Horabimbe, and you'll respect that. Two, for the record, the only person here who would really be considered in Blake's ball court is Searux, and that's very iffy. And I'll be honest
What
with
do
you,
you
I'm
mean?
edging closer and closer to picking Searux because he's kind of just talking endlessly.
Yeah,
and, like,
Sirach,
goddamn,
please
none
wait
of
your
you-
turn. Wait your turn.
Did none of you fucking people had an actual conversation before? Do you not know how the flow of a fucking like discourse is? For fuck's sake. So I'm reading through the stuff that Kirifuda posted here. So hold on, there's another Twitter link. Let me read this.
Muffin, Dylan's being a fucking shit poster.
In addition, the macabre chap and I have buried the hatchet through a third party and a mutual friend asking me apologizing for his behavior. Regards to my hate crime and my commentary on Asian representation. Okay? Do not think Ash is at the core a racist person. He is a black leftist, but the fact he had been in emotional distress for the last few is understandable. So to me, that being said, people like Arctic Connor and Blake Diamond, who had nothing to do with the initial conversation, decided to insert themselves into this anyway by claiming I faked my hate crime and yet publicly or privately say anything. Alright. Here's Dustin claiming my hate crime was done for sympathy likes, which he still hasn't apologized for. Well, let me see here.
I will
so-
find.
so-
All right, hold on. You go ahead, Dylan.
Here's a screen cap. It's a screen cap of the next decade replying to someone saying, I don't like him either. Dude twisted some of my tweets to make me come off like some sort of skinhead. All I was trying to say to him when he went off on me was, do you more with an open hand? You meant to say you do more.
Yeah,
You do more with an open hand than a closed fist, but fuck me, right? I'm just some white, oppressive piece of shit. For a dude trying to smash bigots, he sure as shit won't smash himself. The stuff he posts is extremely prejudiced. Hell, I've heard stories of him starting fights in public just to get his ass beat to garner sympathy likes. Avoid him like Americans avoid COVID health regulations. Really, really biting political satire there from the fucking man who watches dudes in bug suits fight each other. Thanks. Okay. So, I mean, Blake, I'll ask you point blank. Clearly, this is an integral backstory here. Is that this Kirifuda person was involved in some sort of altercation, physical violence, that you or other people suspect was faked. What is it that drives you to think that? Is there like just straight up what about it kind of was like, this is a little sus to me?
I'll be honest. Really, it was just thinking out of anger. I fully admit I was thinking out of anger. I just thought, with his attitude, there has to be something else. Like, hey, did he scream something, or did he do something, or throw something? But in hindsight, that seems like a really shit thing to do and say and believe. And I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong for saying that your hate crime was fake. Hate crimes are a very real thing, and it fucking sucks when it happens. All right. I have my Twitter up
well, Blake,
right
you're
now.
Really, Blake,
All right.
Blake, you're really batting 100 tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, can I just say something now? Okay.
Yes, I didn't realize you were actually asking me.
Oh no, I'm okay. So I want to just say I'm really bad with conversations, and I have annoyed a few people that I don't mean to. Sorry about that. Thanks for calling it. I mean, when people call it out, I kind of realize, oh, whoops. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I just want to say this.
Thank you, Muffin. Thank you for correcting yourself.
So I just read some of the tweets, and I'm like, yeah, from what described to be happened, it is sounding like a hate crime. Now, whether it happened or not, Blake, my reaction would be I would never say anything about that, because in the end, this shit happens. People are assholes, especially on trains and public transport. I used to public transport here. People can be hot, especially at night. I don't know if it was at night, but at night's the worst, because people don't think they're accountable in public. Yeah, especially transit, because you can just take a different train. But no, it's entirely plausible, and so saying that, well, it's fake without any evidence, real evidence, unless you were there, it is a bit of a dick move. I mean, at the least. I mean, it doesn't make you a white supremacist, I don't think. I'm still trying to read through this and figure out what the fuck actually happened, but
oh,
yeah.
Shit.
That's
Hold on. Fucking typos. Da-da-da.
Alright. So reading, I'm continuing to read through Kirifuda's shit in the chat here.
Hold on, I still have problems.
Yeah, sure. Quote, I don't fuck with ace people who compare their oppression to LGBT people living in places like Saudi Arabia or Singapore, where gay people are still in illegal class. Anti-LGBT policies in countries where they're in illegal class use terminology that targets LGBT people. Ace people are literally not targeted by the same policy. It's not hard to understand if you're not a dumbass American. Well, first off, that's easy to say if you live in the third world when you're suckling off the teat of American imperialism, you fuck. Number two, you're completely right. I agree with you 100%.
I don't even know what you just said.
I think it's ridiculous to hold to believe that asexual people are oppressed in any meaningful capacity in this country is insane. No one has.
Isn't asexual just not wanting to have sex?
Yeah, pretty much. If you
when an asexual person gets correctively raped, that's not oppression. When an asexual person gets beaten for being an ace, that's not oppression.
Two things, Blake.
So firstly,
one, I doubt those things have happened.
Well,
two,
okay. So
oppression is when an upper class is using laws and systems to keep a lower class down.
Hold on.
That's not happening. You're not, as an asexual person, you don't have less rights. It's not like we can point to the fact that, it was not that long ago that if you were gay, the state and the government would not recognize your union, and you couldn't.
I am trying to fucking type. Jesus Christ. Humbly apologize for my comments.
The ace. Okay, yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, the asex. I mean, all you have.
Hello?
I think the biggest.
Hold up. Okay.
Hold on. I'm still typing out my tweet. And
hey, you type like my brother.
They will.
Okay, I just gotta level the audio. Okay. I need to be very clear here to bring up something that Blake brought up. Blake, when an ace person is assaulted, when an ace person is hurt, it's a tragedy. it's a tragedy every single time. I don't know how I sound over to you.
It's a tragedy when anyone
Holy
is
shit.
attacked. for
C-Rux,
anything.
you gotta no.
It's a tragedy.
C-Rux, you gotta give.
But what you have
yeah.
to understand? Okay, you gotta see. Yeah, Australian dude. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. Just
call him
literally
Sean.
give me
His
a
name
moment.
is Sean.
Okay, Sean, give me a moment.
Damn,
The
boy,
thing
you said
about
left and right.
specific LGBT policy in the third world is that it does not target ace people. Now, the recognition of ace people is another issue entirely. That is obviously an issue that is incredibly important because it's something that is not recognized enough. However, in these certain places in the third world, the amount of sexual pressure and the sexual culture that exists in the United States does not exist. You need to understand that first and foremost. That's why a lot of the... Okay, if you don't understand, Sean, I would prefer you be quiet about it.
Sean,
if you
let
don't
him
understand,
finish, please.
do me a favor and understand in silence.
Let him finish,
the specific
please.
legislation that targets gay people in the third world, in countries like Saudi Arabia, in places like Singapore, the language used specifically targets homosexuality, and in other cases, other euphemisms for homosexuality that are still commonly accepted in these places. Ace people in places like Asia, and especially places like Japan, where not having sex or not having a sexual relationship is actually far more common, even if you look at the amount of adults who are sexually active and the childbirth rates, ace people aren't really as much of a risk as they are in places that are highly sexual, like the United States, like Australia, like England, like Russia, places where, to be frank, these things are a lot more commodified. Now, the reason I had to come in and say that is because I'm aware I'm dealing with people currently in the conversation that are not necessarily familiar with the way that LGBT oppression intersects with oppression in the third world. I'll explain just shortly about my background here. I'm a graduate of a UN school. My background is mostly in community service and global concerns, which are basically that's a shorthand for charities and community work that work overseas. My partner has a degree in international politics and human rights. Both of us are very passionate about the community work we do, and both of us are very passionate about people being held to their words. Now, I'm not saying ace people don't suffer from violence, because they do. I want to point out, somebody earlier in the chat said, "Oh, I don't think that's ever happened to the United States." No, for sure. If an ace person comes to me and says, I was beaten because I was assaulted, I was coercively raped because someone thought it would fix me, I will believe them 100%. But it is not necessarily a case of widespread oppression in the same way that legal policy targets identities and makes those identities illegal. Do you guys understand?
All right, now real quick, I
Yeah,
just
I get you,
unblocked you
Kyle.
on
You
Twitter, and I'm
explained-
going to post the tweet.
You
that
just
I
explained
made.
your point very well. Thank you. I actually understand what you're
It's
saying.
what I
now.
used to do for a living.
All right,
Yeah,
there.
no, I was
I'm
just,
gonna go look
I
at
just,
Blake's-
Oh wait, shit. I did not.
I just didn't. Yeah.
Hold on, I need to delete this because I put it in the wrong chat. Give me a second.
You DM'd it to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was I'm fucking. Damn it.
Is this the one here, Blake, the one you posted 2 minutes ago?
Just gonna make a quick note. My comments about KIRIFUDARED's hate crime being faked were way
Yeah,
out of
that's
line.
the one, yeah.
I still have problems with him, but that should not be one of them. I humbly apologize for my comments, and they will be deleted after the stream. I'm still going to stream just because I've been meaning to get back into streaming, but I've just been fucking backed up like crazy. I still have
It's fine.
a lot of
You
stuff
should-
I need to do.
You should take some X-Lax. It should help you.
Not
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, saying
Not
yeah, as
that
long as
kind
you
of fucking
actually do
backed
it,
up, you
that's
fucking idiot.
Alright, guys, I'm not gonna be here for super duper long, so I just wanted to get one thing off my chest. The second thing I wanted to make out, right? I know there is a knee-jerk reaction on Tokusatsu Twitter, and this is what I think more so than people arguing over opinions about shows, which frankly can get very toxic, but is not a problem because it's something that all fandoms have. The issue with Tokusatsu Twitter is when big-name fans or people who are close to you take something or they take a personal disagreement, and then they hunt down personal information about that person that is separate to Twitter. They start rumors and falsehoods about people on Twitter that are very obviously not true, and that will require people like me to actually have to open up about traumatic incidents like my hate crime that we are only comfortable talking about at a certain distance. I was not pleased that I had to post my medical report, explain the details of an event I find incredibly traumatic to this day to people on Twitter who decided it was fake because they were mad their friends were being quote-unquote attacked. I maintain I have not attacked anybody on Twitter who has not in some way invited it. And in that way, I don't believe I've actually attacked anyone as much as I called somebody out. I might be passionate, but there is a large recognition, not necessarily from Blake, you and your friends, but there is a recognition in this community, and it has happened over the course of 6 months that I have spent attempting to clear my name, being dragged through the mud, clearing it back the idea that I send death threats to minors, clearing back the idea that I lied about my hate crime for fucking sympathy likes, which again, I cannot believe I have to go out there and defend. I have been here for 6 months. I am not going away. The community needs to improve, and if that has to happen by telling people to their faces, instead of going to private discords, instead of going into DMs where no one else will see, where no one else will be able to see them apologize or retract those claims, and there's no point. The reason, Blake, I stay on Twitter is because I choose to stay on Twitter. I don't fuck with streaming. I am not a YouTuber, I'm not an influencer, I don't have followers or a product I'm trying to sell, I don't have a Patreon, I have never done a donation post in my life, despite the fact that I work 2 jobs and I'm on government support. I am doing what I'm doing because it's important. Because hearsay and protecting big name fans who go out there and think they can say whatever they want about people of color, and then ignore that criticism as just drama. Oh, it's not calling out racism. It's just drama.
Dude,
that is an issue.
And I understand where you're coming from, because in other communities, people will write off fucking pedophilia as drama. I understand.
Blake, have I ever done that? Have I ever done that?
No, you haven't, but others have, which is why I mentioned
other
it.
People, but I am not other people. And I think half your assumption of me comes from assuming I am like other people. I will say it straight up, I am a traumatized, angry person of color. I have never ever tried to go, no, I'm not fucking angry. Of course I'm angry. Look, to make a ridiculous MCU reference, it is like that Mark Ruffalo Hulk moment. I am always angry. I've suffered from physical violence. I currently live in a country that still imprisons its refugees. I come from a country that Donald Trump... I live in a country right now where Donald Trump pointed to Australia and said, the way they treat refugees is the way that the US should treat refugees. That's the country I live in. Of course I'm angry. But I am not angry or attacking people to get that anger out. For every step of the way, my anger has either had to defend myself against literal falsehoods that, again, you yourself have finally and thankfully apologized for, and again, I thank you for that, Blake. Literal lies, and people who are willing to sweep racism under the rug. Now, I understand, okay, the initial incident in which Blake refers to, in which the large controversy was first revealed, was when I criticized the treatment of Lauren Shiba, who is a character in Power Rangers Samurai. Now, for context, for those who are not necessarily aware of Power Rangers Samurai, it is the adaptation of 2011 Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, which wholeheartedly lifted the story about samurai princes and a samurai bloodline to the United States, and then cast 2 white people as the samurai prince and princess. Now, that's racist no matter what way you put it. And a lot of my posts have been, as is my right as a person of color, mocking the idea that it was cool. Mocking the idea that anybody could find that cool. And if people do, that's not a direct attack on them. It's my right as an Asian person, quite frankly. If they don't like it, they are more than willing to block me. I have never had a problem with people blocking me. The issue I've had with people blocking me is when they block me and then they use it as an opportunity to lie about me. Now, I made this commentary about Lauren Shiba, about the fact that this was definitely whitewashing, that that when Samurai does it, for some reason people ignore it, but when it happens in other works like the MCU, for example, it is in fact rightfully criticized. But people took this as me going, well, he's just attacking anybody who likes Power Rangers Samurai. He's a fucking dick. No. The people I were making fun of were people who were coming to me and going, well, dude, actually, I don't think it's that racist. Like, according to the fiction, they were part Japanese. Guys, the main linchpin of
the only argument would be if they had a low budget and it was cheaper to hire those actors, but I mean, to be fair, no offense, man, but you trust me, Hollywood has gotten away, and man, Power Rangers is non-union. Remember, that's something. I'll tell you right now, Power Rangers is non-union. They do everything on the cheap already. It would have been way cheaper for them to cast an Asian guy, because I'm telling you now, in 2011, they would have gotten away with paying that Asian man less. Okay.
The original casting call for Power Rangers Samurai, in fact, included a specific tenet for the Red Ranger that they were looking for a young white male. And when the fan community, I don't know if I know you've been around for a while, Blake. I know you've been in the fan community for a while.
Yeah, actually, I remember.
When the fan community found out about this, there was an enormous backlash. There was the biggest backlash to the likes that I wish we would get now whenever Jason David Frank appears or Austin St. John appears. But there was a tremendous backlash to the point where they changed the casting call. They said, we're opening it up to every race, and then they cast a white guy anyway.
Yeah.
That was the biggest heartbreak for Asian fans in the tokusatsu community, and I think I am happy to speak on behalf of other Asian fans I've talked to, where that was the point where Power Rangers lost their trust. Where it lost the trust of a lot of people who then moved to Sentai.
I remember following one guy who used to do English covers of Kamen Rider songs. He even put in an audition. He was Asian and living in Canada. Mm-hmm. And when he got, he did a whole skit about how, oh no, the Red Ranger has to be Caucasian, but it's about samurai. Like, I was there for the backlash. I saw it, and it's disturbing and it's fucked that they continue to not allow an Asian Red Ranger, not just in Samurai, but in any season. They could have done it in Ninja Steel, too.
Yeah. And, Blake, I thank you for acknowledging that, because the people who were attacking me at the time and saying, oh, you're attacking people for saying shit about samurai, weren't recognizing that. They weren't recognizing the commentary I was making. And I'll be real, half, not all, but half these people were kids who weren't getting it. But the other half were irresponsible adults who were just pissed that someone was criticizing their favorite show and went to these kids and went, go, get KIRIFUDARED. He's attacking our favorite character. He's attacking Lauren, he's attacking Jaden. Go get that asshole. He's an Asian elitist. He just cares about Asian people.
Oh, what? Jesus. Really?
I could link, again, guys, I can go to Twitter and link, I have documented all of this.
I am not calling, so I'm not calling you a liar. I actually think the way you've, I want to say this, and I don't know how it's going to come off, but you sound like so much more intelligent when you speak in voice versus chat. I mean, I don't know what it is, but the way you come off...
Because I don't write for white people. The way that people interpret tone when it's not written in perfect sentences tends to be, oh, this person obviously is less intelligent. But the way I type is a way of it's trying to thin the herd of, can you read the content of what I'm saying? As opposed to how I'm saying.
Again, as someone
No, you're right. You're just playing 40 chess on it.
I mean, yeah.
Dylan, now is not the time.
I just want to say, well, I was just saying, I mean,
just tell him he's stupid. Just tell him he's an idiot and he misread what you were typing.
I'm trying.
I mean,
to be
that's
civil
probably what
right
happened.
now. We're doing. Listen. Listen, everybody, please.
We have like 6 people talking, one at a time. Come on.
And listen, and this has been something I've wanted to do for a while. Have a sit down and have a discussion. I'm sorry it came to this, but now that we have it, I'd like to actually fucking.
Sorry, Blake, go for it. Yeah.
I actually forgot my point, but no, I lost the point. I continue. Oh.
No, it's totally fine. And look, again, the only reason I brought up this other stuff, that original incident with Lauren Shiba, is to discuss where did this boogeyman reputation that I as KIRIFUDARED come from? Where did this, oh, he just attacks people out of nowhere come from? It comes from the fact that the only people I've ever called out are people who were not willing to say, yes, I made a mistake, or no, I wasn't informed, or yeah, maybe I shouldn't have put my input into something I didn't understand. And with the tokusatsu community on Twitter, there's a tendency to frenzy, because it is, again, half kids. It's half kids, a quarter adults who are still kind of in the phase where they're thinking like kids, and then a very small quarter of people acting like adults. And it's been this way for too long. It has been this way for years and years and years, with people like Dustin being let off the hook for the long history of things they've done. This thing with me, with the denial of my hate crime, with him creating that video where he sat in front of a fire sipping scotch and threatened to dox me, and threatened to retaliate unless I matched a donation that he'd made, is wrong. It's so wrong, and the reason Dustin felt like he had the confidence to do that was because people weren't asking questions. People were just blindly supporting him. And it's been this way for a while. I don't just go after a specific group of people. I don't just call out one particular group of people because I have an agenda. None of this is personal for me. I don't know any of these people. The only things I am attacking are the things that they've said.
Right. Now,
Which is why, Blake, even though you felt in your heart, yeah, I said that out of anger, I didn't actually see you say that on Twitter. Which is why now that you've posted that apology, I can acknowledge, yeah, Blake, here's the apology Blake gave to me for saying that. If anybody else ever tries to bring it up about Blake, I have the apology here.
now, one thing that's I had
No, this is me. I'm KIRIFUDARED. I am KIRIFUDARED.
yes, as thank you, Spiderzilla, for the comment, but I keep losing my point. I'm sorry, I'm not exactly running at 100%, and I kind of burned myself out. But,
Well, Dylan warned you about that.
yeah, I know. I do this every time. It's fucking ridiculous. But when it comes to the Laura Shiva thing, and yeah, it's fucked, but it's, there's not, how, outside
Like,
of...
it sucks. It sucks. I know it sucks. The
Yes.
environment sucks, and it half sucks because people aren't intending to do these things out of malice. Like, when Scarlett apologized to me, she was like, look, I did these things because I helped spread that rumor because I thought it was a genuinely dangerous thing. But this is the problem. When this sort of seed starts, when it's not dealt with, when the private channels and the discords or whatever that a lot of people aren't a part of, when all of those discords are having their own conversations and going, well, this is what I heard, 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 the
Yes,
thing morphs, and in this case, the thing was me. The thing morphs into being more than just a guy on Twitter. It's suddenly, I am the bad guy. I am the person for Tokusatsu Twitter to go after. I am the problem with Tokusatsu Twitter. When you have guys literally sitting around going, well, I don't think Tokusatsu has anything to do with politics or Black Lives Matter, actually.
Those guys
When you've
suck.
got Ryo Komiya retweeting Black Lives Matter shit.
This sounds like a lot of dumb dogpiling and like a lot of misdirection by people who obviously hate you for dumb reasons. I mean,
And look, half of
think-
it is people hating me for dumb reasons, but half of it, with people like Dustin and John DDC and Furbus, half of it is them trying to cover for their buddy. Half of them is them recognizing Dustin has lost over 100 followers in the last month. Recognizing that over 100 people retweet my post where he threatened to dox me, where he claimed my hate crime was fake, because that behavior is completely unacceptable. The only holdouts still are the people from his server and his friends, people like Dawn, people like Chris, people like Furbus, people like Getchka, who are still unwilling to admit that a white man going onto Twitter and publicly saying, I think this guy is lying about his hate crime, so we all sympathize with him, is wrong. It is period wrong. It's not about clout. It's not about people following me. Again, I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have any of those kinds of things.
You should
It's
have a
not
YouTube
about
channel.
that stuff.
I mean,
It's
like,
not
no-
about those things.
I was
What
gonna
it is
say-
thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I've been told that a bunch of times, especially by my
oh,
Nasus group.
in the chat. You wanna send- yeah.
Outside of the chat and other things that I've contributed to. But my point is, like, it's not about me looking for clout. It's not about me looking for more followers. It's me going, guys, if more people listening to me means that we as a community are a little bit better and maybe stop ourselves before we say dumb shit like, well, this guy's just attacking kids, or, well, this guy clearly just fucking is an Asian elitist and thinks Asian people should be superior or whatever. When you have people saying that, guys, your community's off the rails.
Yeah,
people who do that in anime communities get made fun of. People who do that in furry communities rightfully get kicked out of. And we, in the Tokusatsu fandom, are still doing this. We are so small. We're such a small community.
Can I point something out from a bit ago, mind you, that this dawned on me? So something you said, remember how I wasn't understanding you in text, but when you're talking, you're a lot more clear to me? I mean, just to me. How much did this fan base are like, yeah, you said like a bunch of kids who are attacking you because they're being led to this. I personally think that a bit part of the issue is that a lot of people could be also misreading this. I mean, this whole thing is a clusterfuck. I mean, if this was as clear as it was in you talking, I mean, I wouldn't have had a problem. I would be like defending you, dude. I mean,
this has happened before.
you're
Or
cool,
like
mate.
when I fucking it was about
it's
2
just-
years. It was about 2 years ago that I had to sit down and in a talk with Squall Charleston, and in one stream and Getcha in another about a situation between them, and at the end of it, I sided with Getcha just because, as you know, as somebody who busts pedal busters, I feel like I should
remember
fucking
that bullshit. God, it's been 2 years. Damn.
Hold on. Yeah, it has been 2 years. Time flies. But anywho, as somebody who fucking prides themselves on driving pedophiles out of communities, or at least being a part of the charging force that drives pedophiles out of communities, it is in my better nature to listen to kids, because when they talk about fucking adults doing anything harmful.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look,
I mean-
I understand that completely. That's the knee-jerk thing to go to as well. But, like, it is understanding that not every kid is literally going to tell you the truth 100% of the time. Not because they're a bad person. Not because that kid wants to ruin your life, but because
It's
either the kid
investigation
doesn't
101.
understand, or the kid has another adult in their life that is making them think those things.
Or because they're afraid of another adult. And
Yeah.
a lot of
The
stuff.
issue
Like,
is when
you're
kids
dealing
go,
with the situation.
when they go onto Twitter and they make these public statements and they make definitive public statements, like Chris26Dues was doing earlier today with his meltdown over him lying about supporting Dustin, over him lying about retweeting Dustin's tweets about me, over him lying about calling Dustin a hell of a guy in the same post where Dustin claims I faked my hate crime for likes. I would not be tweeting about Chris if Chris, like you, Blake, just now, had tweeted out, listen, I was wrong about Dustin. Indy clearly didn't harass a minor to suicide, and he clearly doesn't think Asian people are superior to all other people. I wouldn't actually be talking about anybody if they'd kept their name out of my mouth. I'm more than happy to discuss stuff like policy or social justice in threads with people, but that's not what's been happening. Most of the time it's KIRIFUDARED, motherfucking get him! And then I have to deal with like 10 different soccer combatants, and then ride away on my fucking bike, and then crash, and then Batman shows up. Not, the Batman, but the Batman.
Dogpile mentality. It's the whole person evil, no evidence, hate him because I said so, and people believe it because it sounds right. And again, this is the whole chat thing. I think anyone who doesn't understand or is ignorant or is just being led a certain way without enough context. I mean, unless they were to talk to you directly, like, or hear this. I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean, I've been fucking, like, was it 20-30 minutes you've been in this chat? I mean, you've changed my mind about a few things, I kind of understand where you're coming from now.
So Sean, the one thing I will say is that I dislike using the word dogpile, and here's why. And here's why I'm going to explain that. So Blake, you talked about just now your work, and I've never made fun of this, by the way, because I've always thought it was actually a very responsible community thing. You talk about the work you do in trying to inform the community about pedophiles, trying to drive them out of the community.
Mm-hmm.
I would not call the criticism those people get dogpiling. Do you understand what I mean?
No,
Like,
I don't.
okay, so, like, say Blake comes up and says, well, this guy's a pedophile, here, guys. And a whole bunch of people go to that person and say, hey, you're a pedophile, get the fuck out of our fandom. That pedophile can now respond, well, I'm just being dogpiled. You guys aren't taking this into context. I'm just being hate-rated.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you need to, and this is what pisses me off about the internet a lot right now, a lot of the drama these days, I mean, you know what I mean by drama, but a lot of the bullshit and the misinformation that does happen, it's usually it's either lack of evidence or evidence that's been taken out of context, whether it be deliberate or not. And that shit pisses me off. I think a lot of people are very quick these days to read something and then just believe it without evidence. Like, And I'm just as guilty of this. I'm really bad with this myself. I mean, I try not to, but I've done the same thing. I'm not gonna claim I look at all yet. No, I did that with you today. So sorry about that, man.
No, it's totally. Look, I'll be honest. I don't pay attention to a lot of the people who come in the comments just to say, oh, KIRIFUDARED sucks. The only people I pay real attention to are the people who are saying, oh, you harass minors, oh, you lied about your hate crime. If someone thinks I'm an asshole, go for it. Like, fucking post about it on Twitter, tell them that I talk too much. Maybe don't do what this guy did in your chat and use a homophobic slur. But,
Who said
definitely, Loose Jew 69 just called both you and I the F slur. I'm not sure why, but
for one thing, this is not my server.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck
This
it.
is a throwaway server.
Sean, you are in my server, right?
Oh yeah, I can.
Wait,
no, I can't. I don't think I have the
Here, let me throw you an invite, because
I'm in your Discord server. I'm in your Blake and Friends official.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
Like
Hold
a
on.
piece of shit if you blue ball me again. God damn it.
All right. Fine. But
What is this, a sex thing now?
fucking taller Put a collar on loose juice or something.
I can't. I have no
But
power. in
anywho,
Discord server.
I mean, look, I'm sure you'll get to it. Like, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I have no power in your
Is
Discord
what-
server.
Juice is what
Okay.
Blake, a lot of your people would deem a difficult case because of his inherent disposition.
Yeah, he's a bit.
I don't
Jesus
think
fucking
there's
Christ.
ever any necessary. When Blake and I are here talking about the issues we think are important in the tokusatsu community after such a long back and forth over the past 6 months, I just don't think it's helpful to slur in the
This has
chat.
been going on.
That's the
I don't
bottom
think,
line.
well, it's not.
I don't know
think
what kind of
that's the
environment y'all
opposite.
have here. This is your server. I don't know what kind of environment y'all have here, but that's my 2 cents.
This is a
There's shit-
throwaway
You're
server.
correct.
So just
It
for
is not
context,
helpful.
this is a
It's
throwaway
not
server.
helpful, and it's not contributing to the discussion in a meaningful way.
It isn't. No, you're right. But I will say this: I want to fucking kill myself. God damn it, Blake! Every
What?
goddamn time you do this, I want to kill myself. I don't
Why?
care. It's over, Blake. You said something really fucking stupid. You didn't even defend yourself, really. For
Because I.
fuck's sake, Blake, can't you just act like an adult for like once? Any reasonable person would be like, well, if I don't have evidence that this dude didn't get assaulted, I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't say publicly that he didn't
Yeah.
get assaulted. Like,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake, Blake.
This
Yeah, I
is
said this earlier. I did
That was
not.
a dumb
well,
moment.
years ago.
Yeah, I called you.
It
yeah, I
was
said
a
it was
dumb moment. Apparently,
Yeah.
you did it for months.
No, I didn't.
You were doing it for 6
of you
months.
saying that.
Blake, you were doing it for months and months and months. And look, again, I am not trying to cancel you. I am not trying to tell, because clearly, I think this, like, you've got 17 people watching you right now. Clearly, you're not getting canceled by whoever's watching you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not here to
Well, it's
cancel
all
you.
his friends. That's what it's always.
But
friends.
I am telling you that gut instinct of I gotta protect my friends. This dude makes me so fucking mad. Is something that you gotta take that 1 second and just be like, all right, but what's the other side of this?
Well,
here?
what's so dumb about this is you even presented. I mean, this is what does get me like a little annoyed at Blake right now. You present. I mean, you shouldn't have had to be honest, because there was no evidence against it. But you did actually present the evidence, and that's bullshit to continue on after that.
Again,
I mean,
my background is in community work and is in social service. Like, I have been part of pushes and organizations. I've literally gotten people fired from plays for the racist stuff they've done to other people. Last to put a bit of context into to put a bit of context into the work I do. Last year, a university theater group that I was a part of released a matter of support statement. That's great, right? Really good positive thing. The issue was about 3 years before they'd done an all-white production of Hairspray.
what's Hairspray?
Hairspray is a musical set in the 60s about segregation and the black civil rights movement. So
And
you
was
can
it-
see
It's
how
very-
doing...
it's very.
So I have a question.
So you can
very-
see how doing
Hold on.
a
hold on.
production of that where all the black parts were played by white people.
I have a question. Was
Were they
that
white?
a...
Hold on, please.
It
tell
was
me they-
right here in good old Australia. Of course it was in Australia. Like, of course.
Fuck,
Of course it was
okay.
here in Australia.
Please.
This is a university
okay.
I used to attend and no
So
longer
can I
attend.
just say something?
That's
can I just
a
say?
weird thing for an Australian university to do.
Yeah,
Period.
well,
Australia, look, listen, I'll tell you right now, as someone who used to go to theater school, theater
Yeah.
kids are global,
Was it
alright?
the
Theater
fact that-
kids
Yeah.
are fucking
I
global.
also want to say,
Oh, I know.
I
Hold on,
hate
hold on,
that
hold on,
it-
hold on. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
Auditions, I mean,
Sensei, you first.
I'm
Yeah, you go,
curious
Soundwave.
Because I feel like when I hear things like that, and I think that this is a very interesting statement, and I'm reflecting on how it, all of a sudden makes you jump back and go, whoa, because it's a pretty shocking statement. Now, is it the fact that they didn't give these roles to those of people that were black, or even?
Now I say
Yeah,
all
that's what I'm
I say all white. That's a bit of an exaggeration. It's not like the casting call called for only white people. All of the main parts that were black people went to white people, and I believe most
Yeah.
of the people of color, of which there were 4, were relegated to chorus parts.
Yeah,
which
this
is
is,
Okay,
just
but my
all.
this is
question
what I was gonna say.
Is how many people that applied for these roles that were
I'm sure there were
primarily
plenty.
black? How many?
Okay, so here's the thing that I've learned from my theater background, right? Here's something that I'll tell you now, having worked in places like NIDA, having worked in places like WAPA and LaSalle in Singapore.
Well,
There is a rule for theater companies when it comes to putting on shows. If you don't have the cast, you don't put it on. If you want to run Miss Saigon, but you can't get any Asian people or even any Vietnamese people specifically, you don't put on Miss Saigon. If you want to put on Hairspray and you took a look at your university and you didn't have the demographic to put on Hairspray, you should not put on Hairspray.
All right, please.
Yeah, I have
I'm
to,
gonna.
that's That's
I don't
clearly
agree
Like,
with that.
regardless of the amount of people of color who auditioned, if they knew in their hearts that most of the people who are going to be auditioning and most of the people that these casting people, and by the way, university theater departments famously integral, famously insular, famously incestuous, famously like cliquey, because theater kids don't change. When it comes to them looking at the people, oh, who's going to audition, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, they're not thinking, do we have a person in color in mind in our current theater community? Is there someone who could do these roles? And if the answer is no, you put on a different show. You especially do not put on a show that is based around, literally, civil rights, where you have black people singing stuff like, I'm blacker, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, but hey there girl, I'm gonna get you loose.
But
Like, you just don't put on the show.
Is there an official guideline and rule that is
Yeah,
posted
that's-
for international, like, and this is internationally speaking, for them to follow? And what you're saying is a lot of productions, it doesn't matter where they are, they tend to break this rule in order to put on the show. Is this what you're telling me?
So here's a fun fact. At the time, there was a guideline in editions of Hairspray that were sent to schools and were sent to universities, saying, we are aware this is a very particular show set in a particular time in the United States. That being said, we the creators, who are two white men, by the way. I need to stress that very, very hardly, that the two people who wrote Hairspray were two white men. Wonderful songwriters, but definitely not people who can speak for the black community or speak for people of color.
Well,
Like, if you don't have the cast, then we understand you can fill some of these roles with people who aren't people of color. They came out about 2 years ago, talking about how people had abused that clause to discriminate against people of color being in Hairspray shows.
What
They
do you
listed a
mean?
bunch of examples of
Explain
like
it.
universities that, like, you know, you have a perfect Seaweed J Stubbs, but for some reason you gave it to a non-black guy. They came out and said, we cannot in good
For some
conscience
reason.
anymore stand by this.
What do you mean for some? Like, what was the? 'Cause I also think.
Now I
and
have.
you-
Hold on. I have a very important question. Please,
Yeah, go
for
for it,
the
Blake.
please, for the love of God, tell me they did not. And have the white people they casted be in blackface. Because if so, I'm going to fucking throw
It
myself
wasn't. They,
out.
no, they weren't in blackface. They were very adamant they were in blackface, but
That
it
would've been
didn't.
a
It doesn't make it any better, does
No,
it?
no, it does
Yeah,
not.
Having, I might be legitimately the only person here, other than Kirifuda, who's seen Hairspray, but it's.
I was in a production of Hairspray, not that production of Hairspray. Thank fuck. The production of Hairspray I was in was in Singapore, so it was Malay people and Chinese people.
So,
To
wait,
reflect
let me-
the racial disparity that's over there.
Why does that?
That's alright.
Why is it any better than? I don't know. I don't.
That's
I
a
don't get it.
little weird, but it's building off of the same theme.
No,
It's-
yeah,
yeah, it's
for
definitely
example,
the
a
same
lot
plot.
of productions of
I'll be
West Side
honest.
Story, for example, internationally, changed the Jets and the Sharks. And I'm sorry that I've started talking about music theater on a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh stream,
Oh, it's
where we're
fine.
talking about the position of the Tokusatsu
Interesting
community.
as fuck.
Kirifuda, let me tell you, for like 3 weeks, we tried to stay on topic in Blake's streams, and we had the exact same conversation every time.
That's
And we
fair.
can't.
It's
we
fine.
cannot
So-
talk about
This is an
So
interesting-
even productions of West Side Story, where the two gangs in that are Polish and Latino, I believe, Puerto Rican
Yeah.
specifically. So they're Polish and Puerto Rican. International versions of West Side Story substitute those gangs for the racial diaspora or the racial makeup of that place. For example, again in Singapore, which is a country that is incredibly diverse, but just not with white people, you have Malay people, you have Indian people, and you have Chinese people who are the main sort of racial makeup of Singapore. So a West Side Story production in Singapore would probably comment on the fact that Chinese people have basically had more privilege over
hold on,
like Malay
hold on.
people and Indian people.
Hold on, Sensei wants to say something. Or
I'm
whatever
really
the fuck.
trying
Sensei, go.
to wrap my head around this because I really, really want to understand. I really do. So you're telling me that if I want to put on a production of Hairspray, right, in the U.S., and let's just say I have the majority of where I live, it's Latinos, right? I live in a very dense Latino population, and I have very few black people that sign up to play the role. Does this mean I'm not allowed to put on a production of Hairspray?
We're at another production, I would say no. But the problem with Hairspray is that it's so tied to the specific black civil rights movement of that era.
But I mean, am I allowed to do that?
Well,
I
Sensei,
would say, listen, you're allowed to put on whatever production you want with any cast that you like. However,
Yeah.
you need to expect criticism if you do.
Yeah,
That's the
this
bottom
isn't-
line.
This isn't
You're
a
saying you should get
legal
expect
thing, or
criticism.
like-
Yeah,
This
okay.
is not a legal
purely
thing.
ethical.
It's an
This is not a
ethical,
legal thing,
yes.
exactly.
It sounds
Sorry. Oh, that guy who just said it was a legal thing. I don't know your name, but what was your name again?
Dylan.
My
Which one are
name's
you?
Odie. No one calls me that. My name's just call me Dylan. Who gives a shit?
Dylan, okay, right, okay. Yes, no, it's not a legal thing. It's an ethical thing. If you have a show that's about black people, make sure you have black people to cast. If you have a show like Miss Saigon, which I can talk more about as an Asian person, less so because I'm not Vietnamese, but I did live there for a long time. If you have a show like Miss Saigon and you don't have Asian people, for the love of God, don't put on Miss Saigon. There are so many other music theater shows that you can cast race blind as well, where you can just fill it with people of color and no one will care. Put on Company, put on Guys and Dolls. Maybe not The Sound of Music because that's about Nazis, but there's a whole bunch of other musicals you can put on.
I think that there needs to be more of a, like, an addition to the curriculum if you were to study arts and theater, right? So if you wanted to go into theater and teach people about, you know, acting and putting on shows for Broadway, do you feel like that there needs to be more of an academic addition onto that?
Well, the thing is that there is, but it comes too late in the curriculum. Now, listen, I'm saying this with full awareness that American education is hideously underfunded under no fault of the American people, apart from the people who vote for education cuts. That being said, in an ideal world, yes, that would be very much a main discussion in theater, drama, performance, what have you, because right now, the culture we've been living in, up until I'd say the last 4 or 5 years in which these social movements have gotten more steam and more people have been listening, and that is to credit a lot of the young people doing that work, it hasn't been talked about in film and theater. People do not like to talk about it, and it needs to be talked about. The ethics and morality of putting on shows written for people of color and casting them as white people absolutely needs to be discussed. But just to finish really quick, I know everybody wants to, just to finish the story real quick. So this theater company put on that production of Hairspray. I called them out on it. And I got abuse, obviously, from several of the white actors who'd been in that show. And I got support as well from several other of the white actors who'd been in that show, who I contacted and I asked, how do you feel about this? And a lot of them came back to me and said, I really regret being a part of this show. I don't put it on my resume anymore. I was a college student. I just really wanted to be in Hairspray, and my ambition got the best of me. And to me, that's the correct reaction. But this one guy who had been in it, like, started basically attacking me, started saying, oh, you're just a fucking rice biter. You know, you just want to fucking cause trouble. The show was great. You're just talking shit on the show because you couldn't make it, and I'm a great actor. All of that kind of shit you hear from private school Aussie guys who haven't really been taken down a peg yet. But,
those guys are a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, I'm sure Sean knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm sure Sean knows what I'm talking about.
Dude, I lived in New South Wales. I lived on the outskirts of Sydney. I hate Sydney. Those are like the Sydney like elite pricks who have like way.
That's why I live in Melbourne. Not that it's any better.
You know places like Campbell. Like it's
sort of the haughty elite private school sort of attitude about it. And I made a call-out post for this guy. I contacted the university, I contacted the theater company, and I said, is this how you expect your actors to behave? And then I got messages from the current people who were running the theater company at the time, who I got in contact with the people who put out the BLM statement, who were all white people, who were like, well, we weren't running it at the time, so we think you bringing it up is you just bringing up the past to cause trouble. No, guys, I'm bringing it up because you never acknowledged it was fucked up, and you haven't acknowledged that it's fucked up. And I contacted the university, I contacted the theater company. They all had to have a great big meeting because this guy had literally been threatening me, lying about me in this thing. They came back and they said, Sam, blah, 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 is no longer part of our theater company. He's no longer working with us because his comments about someone who had the right to criticize a white production of Hairspray are unacceptable. I truly wish, hold up, and I'll bring up the reason I bring this up, not just to talk about the work that I've done in the past in terms of community activism. I bring this up because I truly wish the tokusatsu community could do the same thing, where we look at something that is completely unacceptable, instead of going, well, my friend said that, and he was probably mad, we go, dude, that's not cool, you gotta say sorry. And you gotta do better next time. Because I feel like the one thing the community is good at, recognizing, is repeat offenders. But for some repeat offenders, because they've been around so long, because they have so many followers, because they have so much influence, the stuff gets swept under the rug as, oh, these are just my haters. These are just people hating me because I've been around so long, because I have so many followers, because I'm so successful. And that's the kind of conversation that the community needs to have right now. Alright, I'm done. Sorry, go for it.
Well, I just have more of an ethical question. Just, I don't know. This is something you were going on about before. That situation that happened at that university. So if we, what you're saying, it was all like the black roles played by white people, and all the black people who were in it were like minor roles, right?
Yeah.
If we change that around, right? If we swap that, so all the minor roles to white people, and made the
It still
the
doesn't
other
work
one,
because the whole
No,
point
hold on,
of
shut the fuck
Hairspray.
up.
Wait, let Sean finish. I'll tell him if it doesn't work.
No. If you changed it around, right, and you made it any other race besides black people, like anywhere on the world, Asians, for example. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying. Is it still the same ethical issue? Because
Again, this is the same thing that Sensei brought up. This is the same point that Sensei brought up. I'll explain it to you again. So, with other shows, I would say probably. Something like West Side Story that I brought up, for example, which is about gang violence between two diaspora racial gangs, is something you can absolutely change up. Okay, maybe because I don't know, like maybe you live in a place with a large population of Latino people, but not necessarily black people. Oh, sorry, not necessarily Polish people, but like Irish people. You can change the two gangs in West Side Story to be like Irish and say Mexican instead of Puerto Rican and Polish. But for a show like West Side Story, and again, that's been done because West Side Story has been done to death a million times. It was written in the 60s.
I'm gonna be very blunt, alright? And I don't think that explanation, I don't think you said, don't make me believe this, but I want to make sure that...
It's because Hairspray is literally about the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King in the 60s.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you don't
that is the main
bias.
reason it becomes a lot more difficult to redo it.
So I'm going to be very blunt. This isn't from a bias against white people, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, just because the way you say things sometimes...
No, it's not a bias against white... It's not a bias against... Because the reason being is that in Hairspray there are roles written for white people, and there are roles written for black people. Like, explicitly in that show, there was a part of the show is the main character, Tracy, who's a white girl. She gets put into detention one day, and this is kind of where the whole show kicks off. She gets put in detention. I'm just trying to get over the really weird realization of explaining the plot of Hairspray at the moment. She goes to detention, and the detention in her school is a mixed detention. So she gets put in detention with all the black kids, which during the 60s was common because obviously you had segregated classes.
Yeah.
Through this class, obviously in the same way that a lot of white narratives about black people are written, she learns that the black people aren't so bad. Oh, they're about as cool as the music they make on TV, and she joins their movement to try and get, this one TV show in their town integrated, to let black kids and white kids be on the show the same time together. Because as it stands, that show has like a Negro Day, as termed by that show.
So I'm gonna ask the same question again, because maybe you answered the question, I'm not getting it. So, would you take the same issue with this if in this exact situation we just replaced all the white people with Asians, would you still have the same issue with it? Would it still be as insensitive?
Yes, it would still be an issue because Hairspray is a story about black people.
That's all I wanted to clarify. I'm only using Asians because it's just something that's just...
The only reason I ever let that kind of thing go, right, is when it comes to non-Western countries like Asia. If you do it if Chinese people want to put on Hairspray, Asia's an example, but there are other. But obviously, the world is so big outside of America. Places like Latin America, places like the Middle East, what have you.
Yeah, I understand. So
the reason I let that go is because in Asia you literally don't have that demographic. If Japan wants to put on a Hairspray, they don't have that demographic.
Okay. And I was just making sure
I mean, not to say that there aren't black Japanese people or mixed Japanese people, but obviously, in terms of the homogenous society, they are much more of a minority than in the States.
Yeah, they are very,
for example, in the States, the word minority doesn't even apply anymore.
Xenophobic.
That's why people have stopped using it.
Xenophobic.
Well, the greater thing here is that it's very specific to, like, an entirely black rendition of Hairspray wouldn't work because it's about the prejudice of two groups. So if everyone is visibly the same, it really doesn't work.
That's
so even beyond it's just more like it comes across as more like I don't know, like you didn't understand the point. You didn't understand the point of the story you're putting on in the first place if everyone's white.
Exactly.
But, it doesn't work if it's one racial group.
Which once again brings me back to Power Rangers Samurai. How do you adapt a story about a literal a literal Kage a literal
Okay.
samurai family and a samurai bloodline and cast a white guy and a white girl.
So now I get. I mean, I know
Saban,
nothing.
that's how.
I know nothing about this series, so for
Yeah.
one,
Well, hold on,
and
hold
even
on. I think this is
understand
where
what they're saying
I
now.
think this is where her fucking an Indianite can speak. It's literally a Hayam Saban and fucking Shuki Levy, who I don't know if you follow the whole incident with Sarah Brown, but Shuki Levy's a rapist, and people have been
Wait,
trying
what?
desperately to have him held
What's this?
accountable.
Like,
Racist?
I've
What?
been called anti-Semitic by people like Getcha for criticizing Haim Saban.
Wait, how can you
Fuck.
be?
I have criticized Haim
How?
Saban many, not just for his treatment of Power Rangers and the treatment of the cast on his show,
How does it
but
make you
for his
anti-Semitic?
for his
Fuck.
military donations.
Why
Wait,
is
Haim
it- why
Saban
does
is
it
a
make-
white dude?
Haim Saban is Jewish.
Yes, he's Jewish.
I always
He's Jewish.
I
Yeah.
al-
Fuck.
same
Just
fucking
because, just
thing.
because someone is Jewish, any criticism of them does not make it anti-Semitic. It makes it criticism of a person.
The problem is that's a common criticism by right-wing
I mean,
Jewish people like Ben Shapiro.
I legitimately always thought Haim Saban was a Japanese dude by his last name.
Yeah,
I never at any point bothered to look him up. Wow.
Listen, I definitely didn't know Shuki Levy. I thought Shuki Levy was an Asian name as well. Like,
Yeah,
I'll be
that's
completely real.
yeah. Like I didn't know that one
Shuki.
either. Do you think when Toei gave them the rights, do you think they knew, or was that like they were like, wait?
I
hold
think
on.
when Toei gave them the rights, Toei were thinking, yeah, even more money for our successful Sentai series. It was the 90s, they had all the money in the world!
So this isn't a matter of money.
Yeah.
This is a matter. Okay. Now here's my question to you: is there any reason? I mean, like any reason whatsoever, from a logistical point of view, whether it be money, time, any sort of legitimate reason that could have potentially had this happen? I mean,
The
like,
only
that-
reason here, I think I have the answer. The only reason is because fucking and white Americans are racist as shit, and
Okay.
would not have liked having a fucking non-Caucasian lead, despite the fact that we've had at that time, and
Multiple black leads.
multiple black leads, and even
yeah.
a female lead in during for the short time that Alien Rangers was on.
Yeah, for the short time that Alien Rangers was on, and a white female lead, but still a female lead. I've talked a lot about so the current season of Power Rangers is the first to cast an
Oh,
Asian.
here's an ethical question. So if this exact same hit situation, again, I'm gonna just make this. I'm just very curious to your answer. If you changed the situation, so instead of an Asian person, it was a black person, would it?
No,
still
it doesn't
use
work.
that?
It
Okay,
still
because-
does not work.
Yes, because samurai are
Because
specifically an Asian.
Well,
I figured that'd be your
I
answer, but I'm
will-
trying
I
to make
will
sure you're
counter-
not. Because the
I
way
do
you're.
want to counter, Sean. I feel like I don't feel like you have to keep making this point. I feel like we've established.
Okay,
that.
Yeah,
Counterpoint.
Okay, Sean, I'm going to explain something to you real quick. I promise I'm not trying to tell you off. I'm just trying to let you know. Sometimes saying if we flip this around, is that helpful? It's not helpful every single time for every single. It's
Okay.
helpful sometimes for certain points.
I'm just
which is
trying to-
why I'd answered
yeah.
it every single time, but you don't need to bring it up. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop.
Like
Okay.
Chainsaw said, you
Now,
don't need to bring it up every single time.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, just because the language you use, sometimes it's like, does he?
I do use a mix of academic and casual language, and if I ever say something that I'm like, could you just explain that to me again? I will do so happily. Just don't even worry about it.
I will
simplify-
say, the samurai thing, and I haven't watched Power Rangers since I was like in middle school. So I haven't watched anything since like the Magic.
Yeah, which is fair. If that's your relationship to the show, that's completely fair. Like
Yeah,
that's
no.
kind of my like I don't really like I watch Sentai, and I don't say that to be like, oh well. I mean,
No,
okay,
I mean,
obviously,
I
I think
I
Sentai is better
think
than
you're
Power Rangers, but like I only bring it up because like you know like if you don't like the show, you are welcome not to like the
Yeah,
show.
no, that's
And-
fine. Like, and I'm
yeah.
not even like again, like it's
Yeah,
specifically.
you
I
just
haven't
don't
watched
fuck with it. It's just not your thing. You don't
Power,
hate it or
like,
anything. You just
I went
not
back.
a Power Ranger dude.
I went back a couple of years ago to see if there was anything there. I didn't find anything. I'm really into Kamen Rider. That one
Yeah.
works for me a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm
Same,
not like
same.
saying that. I'm saying
Me,
I just
I'm a
didn't
weeb.
watch this. I watched like half of the.
There's
Sentai.
a reason KIRIFUDARED abbreviates to KR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I watched like half of the Sentai Samurai one. It's good. I liked it. I don't know why I have to prep. It doesn't matter if I liked it or not for what I'm about to say.
Shintender's fucking Kino, that's why.
But I will say there is I think there are ways that you could have like a white dude be in this samurai thing and have it not come across as just.
I feel like if
too
you
lazy.
tackled it from a certain perspective, maybe 10 years ago it could be done.
If
I
you
feel
rewrote
like
it properly.
In the
Like,
current climate, it's just not going to look good.
What was
Especially
it?
in the sorry, I want to be super quick as well. I also need to point out casting an Asian guy would not have fixed all of Samurai's problems because a lot of the people writing for the show weren't Asian either. For example, like a lot of discussion in the Asian community over why that new Mulan movie was so hated is because although it had a lot of Chinese actors, all the writers, all the makeup guys, all the costume guys, they were all white and bringing none of that culture to the table.
And on top of that, there's also the fact
So
that
this
the-
isn't. Yeah, go for it. Mike.
on top of that,
let me see if I can summarize this. So basically, it's I know what you're trying to say, but I'm trying to put it into words that isn't like absolutely ridiculous. Where I'm not going on and on and on about it. I know what you're trying to say, and it makes sense. Because why in the world would you want to present something where it's a complete bastardization of a culture, and you want to present that? It's like, how do I put this?
And that's
Why-
I totally get what you mean. Why are you presenting this in the least authentic, most middle America way possible?
That's like eating frozen Chinese food from.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
and it's
100%,
like that's
yeah.
not.
And the reason Power Rangers does this is for that middle America audience, for those audiences that they don't want to be challenged. They don't want to have to think about, oh, there's an Asian dude being a samurai on my screen and China's giving them. They don't want to think about that. They just want their fun white guy, and that's where it needs to change.
I would counter that. I don't think that's true because I remember I grew up in central Ohio, which admittedly is a more like.
I was gonna say you
state.
sound exactly like a friend of mine. Like your accent is the exact same as a friend of mine from Ohio. Like,
oh, that's unfortunate.
Kind of
God damn it.
crazy.
You're really putting me down here.
Yeah, no, he's one of my Masks players, and I hear him every week, and your voice is like
But
that.
you know, like when I was a kid, I never cared. It didn't bother. Like I think racism is a primarily learned behavior.
Yeah.
Whether it's learned because when you're in the wild, you learn that unfamiliar things are bad, or whether it's learned because
your
dad's
fucking
on the
uncle's
porch, he's
racist.
Talking,
Yeah,
when
because
your
your
dad's
uncle's
on the
racist.
porch with his uncle. He's talking about the fucking dude who stole his job and he's throwing around slurs. But when you're young, and that's what fucking Power Rangers is for, is real young kids. You don't really notice that shit. You can kind of do whatever. I think
The
the
issue comes from them not noticing it, but them internalizing it. Because,
Sure.
like, you see people who grew up on Power Rangers Samurai suddenly hitting their 20s and going, whoa, fuck, that was really fucked up. And sort of not questioning whitewashing until someone like me goes up to them and goes, dude, look, I know you love this show. I know you didn't question it at the time, but you're 20 now. You can't just go around talking about how this was, like, the perfect, amazing representation show when it wasn't. Like, that's the issue. The issue is that although kids don't pick up on the fact that there isn't an Asian guy on their screen, they internalize it. They go, well, it's perfectly appropriate for this random white guy to be screaming power of the ancestors while he's waving his katana around.
See, I also feel like it looks like just hearing about it. It sounds like a missed opportunity because it could have been interesting if they were like,
Absolutely. Let me pitch you a different story, right? Let me pitch you a different story for Power Ranger Samurai. There's a Japanese kid who's not really in touch with his culture. He likes Japan. He likes it for its anime and stuff, but he doesn't really know anything about it. One day he discovers he's part of a samurai clan destined to have to rid the world of monsters, and suddenly has to get in touch with the culture that he's put aside as just robots and mecha for so long, and kind of learn what it means to be a samurai with 4 random American vassals. Doesn't that already infinitely sound more interesting than White Guy Samurai?
Well, here's what I would say to that. The main thing I would say to that, and that's fine. It doesn't sound like a bad thing. I'm not like knocking it or anything. Like I would watch that as much as I'd watch anything else. But even if you didn't want to do that, even if you wanted like a very white bread actor, why wouldn't you just connect it to like the actual history of white samurai? There's not a lot. There was a white samurai.
You could potentially do that. But the issue comes from the criticism it does then get is like, well, it's just another white samurai story because we've had a million of those. That's the issue.
But like, it could be interesting if it was like, there's this threat has come from Japan to here. your fucking great-great-grandfather was William, whatever the fuck the dude from Neo's name is.
Yeah, the guy from Neo. Yeah, nobody remembers his name. He's just Neo guy now. A real historical guy. He's just Neo guy.
But you could fucking then like have like, because I'm looking at a list here. There's an Italian one. There's a Chinese. Like you could do something like have a fucking black kid who's great ancestor.
Yeah, quite famously, there was a black samurai back in the 1600s.
Yeah, Yasuda, who's
But again, and look, in that case, it's all of that stuff. Unfortunately, is too, I think, big for Power Rangers because
that's what I wanted to. That's what
I was about to say because the interviews have come out where they're like, yeah, we don't want to have a lot of text on the screen. We kind of treat it like Sesame Street when it's like a kids action show, and I get that. It has to be simple for some part, but if you want to keep it simple, then you do the simple thing. Cast Asian people as Asian characters. Cast black people as black characters. Quit writing characters of color like they're just white people. And I know that sounds weird. That doesn't mean write black or write Asian, but like write it without that sort of like, yeah, we all come from the same background. We're all the same. We just have different skin colors. Because the experiences of people of color, like even CW shows like Supergirl can acknowledge that. There's a line that the Martian Manhunter gives where he goes, I've lived on Earth for about 20 years as a black man, and I've seen the worst of humanity because of it. I feel like if we can teach that to like the pre-teens and tweens watching the CW, there's a way to simplify that for kids watching Power Rangers.
Well, it's even beyond that of like, it's not even a thing that I feel. I'm trying to collect my thoughts on that.
Here, while you're doing that, here, let me interject. It's before I lose the fucking train again.
Yeah, go for it, Blake. Yeah.
The big problem, like you said, Indy, is you said they don't want to do big. They should. They have done it in some ways. Like with Power Rangers Time Force, and Power Rangers SPD. He had talked about androids or cyborgs. When that was an allegory for racial tension, as was the aliens and the mutants in Time Force.
That's also something
and like it's
weird.
crazy to me when people. I think the biggest lie is that people didn't like those shows at the time. Only adult fans love them. When it's like
I
like
love that shit.
There are so many 16-year-olds or 14-year-olds I see now coming onto Twitter, and it's really heartening saying shit like, "Oh, I watched Time Force. I actually like it better than Mighty Morphin or Zeo or Turbo and stuff like that." People who are rediscovering those old works. Like it's gonna be less so now that they're leaving Netflix, which is definitely a massive loss for fans who really loved having all of those. But, like, I think it's wild that people are pretending, well, only adult. No, people loved it because it was tapping into an energy. And I think the past couple of years, like, Ninja Steel was, like, the final straw for me for having anything positive to say about Power Rangers, frankly. Because no more than 6 years after Samurai, you had another show that was completely about Asian culture, where you kind of turned it into a game show. Like, they turned it into a game show, there were no Asian people, the self-proclaimed greatest ninja in the universe
is a white guy with two mixed-race kids!
White guy!
With two mixed-race kids! And they weren't even Asian mixed-race!
Who weren't even Asian! That's the problem, and again, like, you can look at it and go, well, you don't have to go big, but by God, doing the bare minimum isn't going big anymore. Like, I feel like before they do go big, they have to get this shit right, man. Because look, even separate from Rangers as a show, Nickelodeon as a network, I think we can all agree, for the past couple of years, has not been in a great place, really. In terms of its program.
I mean, I can't speak to that.
I know a lot of people in like the cartoon, the Western cartoon fandom.
No, I mean like I just don't pay that much attention.
Can I raise attention to Loose Juice 69 in the general? I don't know if you answered that. I wasn't here.
Don't say it's all me, please.
No, well, Phil Lamar has talked about that. Actually, the guy who voices Samurai Jack has talked about that, and his response is literally, "Don't talk to me about it unless you're a person of color." And as a person of color, I can admit, in 2003, yeah, it was racist. No, I don't think Phil Lamar is a racist, because everything he's ever done has been trying to support people of color since, and Asian.
Did you see his,
but it was still wrong.
They changed his skin tone between seasons?
They did change his skin tone between seasons, actually.
I know. I saw that because I remember.
I didn't see the latest season of Samurai Jack when it came back.
Yeah.
But I did see the commentary about that.
It's more. I guess. What's the phrase? What's the politically correct phrase? Chalky.
Yeah. Like chalky is absolutely a phrase that.
Don't use politically correct.
Shut up, Sean. Not now.
like, yeah, like, I guess he did kind of have, like, I don't know, I looked at his skin tone before, I didn't look at to me like he was a... I mean, I don't know. I legitimately don't know how people felt about the way he
Yeah, but look, I'll tell you right now, my opinion as an Asian person, in 2003, Asian people weren't getting roles anyway. I can't go back and lambast Phil Lamar for the state of voice acting when that was entirely outside of his control. And hell, if you look from 2003 to now, the state of voice acting in general has gotten much better. Much, much better. Like, partially because of conversations that are being had on Twitter by voice actors, more voice actors of color popping up, just in general, that range of talent not being confined to, like, 8 people who are on every American TV show like Phil Lamar, has done nothing but benefit.
So like how anime voice actors used to hear, like, the same 10 voice actors.
Yeah, well, like how Daisuke Ono used to be in everything. Exactly.
Yeah, it was so annoying when you look back at it now. Like I remember, like some of the first anime I watched. Now and then I watch things late that were made later. I'm like, it's the same people.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the same
100%.
logic. All right, I get you now.
Do you guys mind if I interject here?
Oh,
I don't know who's
No, go. You've been quiet the whole time. I just.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So last night, right? I was walking through the woods.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, what are you doing?
God damn it.
I've heard this story before, it's really interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, No, you can't. Yeah, Well, I was looking for the gemstones. I tripped on the, on this...
Wait, what
a
gemstones were you
string-
looking for? You skipped over that part. You gotta tell them what you were looking for.
Well, just any gemstones.
Well, it was a
Really?
very specific type of gemstone you were looking for.
And anal, you know.
Now,
So,
Dylan, this is my story.
It's your story, but you're telling it wrong.
Just go, dude. Get to the point.
God damn
Get
it.
to the
No,
this is-
fucking point.
Fuck.
Semantics.
Okay. Aquanauts was walking through the woods.
I
and
was looking
saw
for some
gemstone,
Oh my
And I
god.
tripped
Yeah.
over.
Oh,
and he
Oh,
tripped
shit.
over a log into a bush, and he got up and he was
I
hurt.
tripped over the log, and I
Yep.
fell into a bush, and I broke my leg.
Dylan, what's going on here? What's
I don't
happening?
know.
I want to be filled in.
I
It's
just
I
fucking
know
told
you
you,
do,
jackass.
Chief. You keep talking about it.
Yeah, but you.
We
I
just
really wish
watched
you'd keep it to
Blake.
yourself.
We watched Blake get dick down because he couldn't fucking hold an argument. That's it.
Okay. All right, so that's it. That's
That's
all.
literally it.
Good to
I need-
know.
And
Now
fucking...
it's just Sentai talk, baby! Ha!
Yeah,
I mean, this-
the worst kind of talk. Hey, Blake. how
Dylan
have you
wins
been?
again!
It's been a while.
It all
Hi, Chief.
comes back to Bill.
Fuck.
Did you get my Twitter DM you never responded to?
Why did you tweet me in Morse code? Doesn't matter.
What did you tweet him in Morse code? That's the real
Why
question.
did you tweet him? Why didn't you just tweet him in binary and Morse code?
But there was one other fucking because I admit I keep losing the ball. Oh, but there was one other thing that I think I've kind of harped on before with my criticism, and I'm sure there is an explanation. The the gathering my thoughts. The whole
Sorry, man, take your time.
the whole US thing, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Come on. You can do it.
Sorry, the
I
whole
actually
what
don't
thing?
know. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
The US thing involving
I've
one
been
of
okay
my
with
mutuals.
with Colin.
Yes, with her.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't think Colin is a bad person. I don't think
Context.
Colin is wrong for having Yua Yaiba as a comfort character.
Okay, to people out of
However,
school-
listen, hold up. However, because this is something I want to be very delicate with. This is something I want to be very clear with.
Shit.
When you flood a tag with endless posts about how you are kissing this character, how they are your wife, how they are this, how they are that, of course it is easy to just block. What it does not stop is the legions of Asian women who have come to me and said, this makes me so fucking uncomfortable to see. Where they are treating, like, a fictional character, sure, but where they are treating a real woman with a real actress to the point of making fan art of them, like, making out with them, which is, like, fine, which is, like, if that's how you get through your day, that's how you get through your day. But, like, when you
Okay.
are so publicly vocal about it to the point where where an Asian woman can't go into that tag without seeing a white American go constantly on and on about this character who they treat as not as even the character from the show, but as their weird possession, is wrong. I'm sorry. There is a bottom line, there is a way you can do that if you want to have a private Twitter where you can vent to a whole bunch of people who are gonna understand how important that character is to you, that's fine. But the minute that it enters a public space where you're not thinking about Asian women in tokusatsu, who, by the way, are such a small community, and I feel like I know all of them only because it's such a small community and whenever they speak up, somebody yells at them. The problem is that Asian women in the tokusatsu community are commodified. I have written Twitter posts discussing what fetishization actually means versus admiring. If you write up a post that says, tokusatsu taught me to find Asian women hot, maybe keep that to yourself. Maybe seriously keep that to yourself. If you're writing posts like, oh man, like this particular Asian woman character would just fucking eat me the fuck up and I would do all this very explicit stuff to her, maybe keep it to yourself or vent it out on private Twitter.
Yeah.
There is no call for it. And Colin, if you're listening, listen, I am sorry, but like a lot of people have felt a lot safer since you locked your Twitter so they can't see those posts.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a bad person, but I think you need to think very, very responsibly about your position as an adult and the space you are in, especially a space that already views Asian women as masturbation material. I hate to put it that way, but that is how they are looked at. That is how Yua Yaiba is treated, it's how fucking Natsumi from Decade is treated, it's how every single motherfucking tokusatsu actress is treated, and I am sick of it.
It's how Izu
I am
is
sick
treated.
of it.
And Azu.
Yeah, it's how Izu and Azu were treated. All of this fucking gross-ass, step on me fucking type of shit that came out of people who were, like, literally, like, little white, like super white men that, like, you gotta think about what you're saying, guys. And look, if you're pro-horny, that's one thing, but don't expect Asian women not to go, oh, hey, you're gross. Like, you can be horny all you want. You can go out in the street, tell everybody, hey, I love getting sucked, getting fucked, I love hentai, whatever. Don't expect Asian people not to say something.
Oh yeah, no, I think everyone's entitled to say what the fuck they want.
Like I love, look, I'm not gonna talk about my sex life because I don't want to put it on Twitter. If you want to, that's your prerogative. But the minute it comes to talking about a race in general, yeah, you need to put down the phone. You need to put down the keyboard. You need to not say shit. Like, where's the worst quote I've ever heard? I reposted it the other day. Hang on. The worst quote I've heard on Tokusatsu Twitter in regards to this.
So,
I'm not gonna say the username, but I am gonna read out what they wrote. Curse Tokusatsu. Okay, this is from a white guy who responded to me, right? Curse Tokusatsu for making me see Asian women as attractive. Wow, check out this racist bra. Right, because when I find someone finding a race attractive, I immediately think it's racist. I mean, have you seen Haley Berry? Anyone who thinks he's attractive is clearly a racist. He's trying to be sarcastic. Picture of Lupin Yellow and just
I'm
written.
very confused.
He's posted a picture of Lupin Yellow and he says, just need to make sure I understand the rules. If you think the below is attractive, are you a racist? If you think she's a homely whore not fit to lick your boots, are you a racist?
Ooh!
That's not cool. That's not, and this is a guy that so many people in the fandom interact with and talk with on the daily.
That's
that's not cool.
Wait. Are you saying someone's so this is someone who is this someone who's saying someone's
This
racist
is someone who
and-
attacked me, who was
Sean,
joining
you really
in on
can't
attack.
fucking
Here's
follow
the.
a conversation
You know what?
with
Here,
shit,
I'm gonna
can
put it. I'll put it in the chat. Here's a screenshot. Here it is.
Yeah, Sean, you need to you probably
Open your fucking ears. Holy shit.
So I want to, I guess, discuss it. Yeah, that's stupid. I don't think that's very defensible. I think that's retarded. But I feel like we're jumping from one example into the most extreme example. I want to talk about the one example first off, the Yua Yaiba stuff, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, go for it.
I understand completely. That's aggravating, it's gross, it's annoying. And I know that because I see it every day about almost everything. I understand we're focusing in on tokusatsu stuff here because that's what you two are in the sphere of. So, but, so you don't really have to acknowledge that this isn't exclusive to tokusatsu. But at least with the Yui Yaiba stuff, the fact that I didn't hear that he loved her because she was Asian.
She.
Yeah. I didn't hear that they loved her because she was an Asian woman. I just heard that they loved the character. And yeah,
well, it was a bit more than that. It leaned into somewhat explicit posts about it.
Okay, but if you want that character to do sexual acts to you, I still don't I feel like you are the one projecting onto this that it is Asian.
And you kind of need to admit that it is your projection as opposed to going, no, she is my wife. Anyone who's saying that she isn't is trying to tear me down.
No, I'm saying you are projecting onto this person that they are fetishizing that race and not just fetishizing that character.
It's not the thing about Colin is that it's not just that stuff, but other things they've done that led me to that conclusion as well.
Yeah,
I don't want to go into I don't want to go into the specifics of it because Colin isn't here to defend himself.
Sure.
And it's not on Twitter. And it's not on Twitter where it's a public thing where they're welcome to respond. The last time, instead of responding to me every time, they have just locked their Twitter.
That's fine.
I have literally called Colin out before as well for saying some racist shit. I should point that out.
Sure. If there's extenuating stuff, if you have a history with this person, you've seen them do stuff that leads you to believe they fetishize Asians, and that's playing into these posts, then that's fine. I think you'd be completely correct in that assessment. I will say though, as aggravating as it may be, we really can't control how people view characters that we like.
I don't want to control the way that Colin views the character. I just want them to make a private Twitter and get all their shit off their chest there instead of... Well, and they have me blocked and they are private, so it's kind of I don't consider Colin an active problem outside their very high follower count. That's the problem.
Well,
the issue again, this brings me back to the other point. The issue is all these other people just going, well, KIRIFUDA attacked Colin for no reason. And KIRIFUDA's a bad guy.
Sure. But so earlier you brought up some stuff about how, this made Asian women uncomfortable, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I understand being an Asian woman, seeing a dude...
Do you?
Yeah, I've lived a complicated life, trust me.
That's the problem. The problem is when you start a sentence like that and go, I understand Asian women, I don't think you do, man.
Well,
again, this isn't me trying to tear you down, but I'm not sure that you do.
You have to let me finish the sentence.
Don't jump
the gun. I understand being an Asian woman, seeing someone post about an Asian woman doing sexual things to them, feeling uncomfortable about that. That makes total sense. I understand why that's aggravating, but I don't think there's anything you can really do about that other than blocking that person. I think that's just behavior that you're never going to get rid of.
Had it not been for the fact that Colin has a lot of kids following them who are learning, oh, this is how we should talk about people, then yeah.
That's all the more reason to call him out on it. Yeah. I'm not saying ignore him. I'm aware you're not saying ignore it. But yeah, the issue is... I'm saying, if you are that person, if that upsets you, the only real course of action you can take is to block him. Unfortunately, it's not against the rules. It's not an exclusive thing. The best advice would be if it was me giving it the benefit of the doubt, I would say this person's just annoying and horny and sad like Juice is. So I'm just gonna block him and ignore him and go about my day. I wouldn't necessarily try to see okay, well, is there a more insidious reason to this? But if you already know this person, you got a history with them, you can, obviously, that assumption isn't wrong to make.
And again, I don't think Colin is a bad person. I don't think she is malicious or trying to get away with stuff. I think she's clearly, and I don't want to speak too much about it because people have talked to me about Colin. Both people who've come to me saying, hey, this is making me uncomfortable, and both people who we are mutuals with. I think Colin is just a very fragile person who is not in a place where they can hear criticism at the moment. And for better or worse...
Colin should not be a public figure.
For better or worse, it is better that Colin is locked right now so they can deal with their shit. If they want to be a public figure, if they want to make big popular posts, they can't put it alongside posts where they talk about Yui Yaiba kissing them to sleep at night.
I want to, the way you went around it, kind of got it. If your main criticism here is, hey, this dude's got a younger audience, and he kind of just has one account, and that's fucking weird when kids are probably seeing it, so you probably want to separate that. That makes perfect sense. But the way you kind of went through it, it was a little hard to find that piece of it.
No, it's okay. I know. I tend to ramble clearly.
Well, I just
go
put in general that I just said that at first glance the kid's argument's gonna hold more weight than a race argument, especially if you have no context or any. I mean, you've gone into like how long have it been what you've been talking about?
Because it links together. It's what people in social justice call intersectional.
But it's
so it links it while it may not necessarily be the fetishization of Asian women necessarily as a race, it is definitely the fetishization of this one Asian woman.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is if it's about the individual, it's not racism. It has to be about the race to be racist.
I don't think y'all should be telling a person of color not you Chainsaw, but Sean. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chainsaw, you and I can disagree on this, 100%, as people of color. But
if you don't like a dude because he's a shitty person and he's black, that's not racist. If you hate him because you're black or you think all black people are shitty, that's racist.
Or you say shit like, "Oh, he's just like all the other black people." Well, then obviously you are racist.
That's a racist sentiment. That's a racist statement.
All right, just to, is there anything else anybody else wanted to bring up that I can answer? Because I can't be here forever.
I did want to address this one thing, two things actually.
Yeah, go for it, Blake. No, take your time.
First one was it's from an account that's no longer online, but there were accusations of anti-Semitism. Was that just revolving around the whole Haim Saban thing, or was it a graver? It was
revolving around the Haim Saban thing, and it was revolving around people being Zionists. Haim Saban directly funds the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force, who created an apartheid state with the Palestinian people. If you are not aware of this issue, I heartily encourage you to
send me this. I actually.
I assume you know all about Gal Gadot and all that.
Yeah. So this one accusation that came from this other user called Sunset Snow, who also attempted to link my Facebook and share my real name. They made accusations about me being anti-Semitic based on my criticism of Haim Saban's military funding of an apartheid regime. That is where that came from.
Can you send this to me? Because I'm actually an Australian citizen. I don't know fuck all about this, so I really should know about this.
I would search up Israel Palestine on Google. Try and find some Wikipedia articles. Buddy, it's an entire history curriculum we don't have time for in a call.
Perez, behave yourself.
Sean, have you played Metal Gear Solid 5?
Please don't. No, Sean, don't listen to them.
Alright, hold on.
Okay, Blake, what was the other thing?
This one is the more important one, and I've only heard it from one source, and that source is not backed anything up, but there was an accusation of pedophilia. Now I need to know, is there anything behind that? Please.
No.
All right.
What the fuck? Why would there? Who made that accusation? I've had a lot of accusations, but I haven't had the pedophilia one.
You don't have like a Madoka statue in the background?
No, I'm a grown man with a long-term girlfriend and an internet connection. I'm sorted.
Would you say you're a big man doing big man things?
Oh my
God. He's asking if you fuck a lot.
I don't want to play this.
He's just be honest. Just ask the question. Do you fuck a lot?
Blake, if you send me that, I would love to know who fucking said that, because that is fucking.
Yeah, it made me raise an eyebrow. Oh, and one other thing I just heard was I heard and saw during one of the thousands of arguments while I was fucking out and about, so I couldn't screenshot everything. But some form of criticism about sex workers. Now, I am a friend with a activist who wants sex work decriminalized so that pimps can't and fucking abuse.
Oh, I was chewing out fucking.
Here we go.
Who was it? It was Dongan Yankee or someone else who was talking. Knight of Uspia. So Knight of Uspia was talking about how sex workers are immoral and how they don't. I'll link you to the posts. I don't know why I'm just describing them.
I don't believe sex work's immoral. I think it's regulation.
It needs to be regulated, yes. That way, these sex workers can be.
I think when you say regulation, you mean protections.
Yes, protections. That way, these sex workers themselves don't get abused It was by Pimps or by Johns. Those are by
And
anything else.
I had
Did you know-
platinum.
Did you know
I had platinum talk to me about it as well. Not for any particular reason, but that they know Dangan, and this is not the first time that he's not Dangan, Naito Sphere. This isn't the first time that he's gone off on that kind of fucking rant about sex workers. Hang on. Oh, Naito Sphere also is definitely one of those people who calls for the death penalty for people, which I don't have time to go into right now.
I have my thoughts, but
Blake, I'm scared you're having this conversation. I have a question. God damn it!
Oh dear.
Shut up.
You shut up.
Fuck, do I
Who
call
the hell
you?
am I talking to now?
That is Perez.
I'm Perez. Don't
Cool.
listen to Blake or anything you said about me. Now, earlier in tonight, you had said that you are not wanting to come into a voice call with a bunch of white dudes to get yelled at, which is perfectly reasonable. But Blake immediately afterwards spewed out that it's not all white dudes, and he was referring to me. Now,
So it was all white dudes and one not white and two not white dudes.
now I need to ask, within it comes to
Dude.
terms of race. Hold up, shut up. In the terms of a race argument, I will very quickly throw my backstory out. To my knowledge, through most of my life, I was thought to have been the son of a mixed race couple of a Mexican and a white woman, which turned out my legitimate father was a white man, so I am the product of two white people. But I was grown up heavily with Mexican culture and influence. Do I have a right to talk from Mexican culture and experience from my knowledge of being Mexican up until, like, 3 years ago?
Well, yeah, I think you do because you were. What happened to you is an extraordinary circumstance. Like I can't say that is not a story that a lot of people of color have, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it might be more
listen,
common than you think.
listen
more
to me, if you were raised in that culture, because white Latinos are also a thing as well. Like you have Afro Latinos who are clearly more darker skinned, and you have brown Latinos who are closer to like indigenous Americans. But if you, for all that time, were under that assumption, and you were treated that way, and the people around you treated you that way, then I don't think you're talking out of turn. I think you're literally talking about, your experience up to that point.
Got it.
That is not something that you intentionally went and lied about. It's not the same thing as something like Rachel Dolezal, who blacked up her face and got braids and then claimed she was black for 10 years. It's not the same experience.
Like you obviously, you hear a name like Perez, it paints a certain picture. Do you think Louis C.K. has the right to talk on Hispanic matters, given his backstory?
I don't think Louis C.K. should be given a platform, frankly. So
Well,
I don't think Louis C.K. should be allowed to talk about anything after he sexually assaulted those two women. So
well, that's we can talk. That's a whole other can of worms, but that's not nearly as severe as maybe it sounds.
yeah, well,
Let's ignore that. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's jump back however fucking long, because whatever. Louis C.K., the man Louis C.K., we can call him something else. Just assume a dude who looks like him. I'll call him Gooey. That's a bad one to use.
I would say, watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I'll call him Lou. That's not. Shut up, Dylan.
Lucky
That-
Louis.
Gucci.
Fucking duty.
Whatever. Louis C.K. The point is, Louis C.K. is a very white man. He has red hair. No one would ever assume he's a minority, but he grew up a lot of his youth. He spent in Hungary because he spent in Hungary, and he also spent speaking Spanish, I believe, in the South American.
okay,
countries.
I gotta ask you really quick. What race do you think Hungarians are, dude?
I'm not
They're
sure,
white.
actually.
Hold on. Hungary is in Eastern Europe.
Well,
They
not
are
everyone in
ultra white.
Hold on. Well, not everyone in Eastern Europe is
Wow.
Not everyone
really
in
racist
Eastern
now.
Europe is ultra white, but him being from Hungary doesn't automatically make
I
him
know.
a person of
Hold
color.
on. I'm trying to find it. It's not Hungary that he's from. I've read this thing. It's like his grandma's from Hungary, so that's why he blurted it out. But I know Louis C.K.
Right? Okay, but you get that to me the same as saying, well, my grandmother's Native American, so.
Right, like I had.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because I'm not done making my point here.
Oh, okay.
I know Louis C.K. didn't speak English until he was like 10 years old. He exclusively spoke Spanish because he grew up in a Spanish-speaking country. So do you like? How does that factor in? Because
It's still-
no one will ever assume. But that's the thing. If you hear the name Perez, you were probably imagining person who looks Mexican or a person who's Spanish.
And then you are
Louis
going, and
CK.
if you are a racist, you're going to treat them that way.
Well, you're going to see them that way.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. You're
Yeah.
gonna
I don't get
assume-
this.
Look,
I'm
let's not
confused.
sit here and pretend that the way you look does not play a role into how racism affects
Absolutely, yeah. No, the people of color talk about white passing,
Like-
and people of color talk about light skin privilege a lot.
Like, let's talk about someone like Logic. Yeah, Logic has probably gotten prejudiced against because his father is black. But if he walks into a southern town and no one knows anything about him, no one's going to, like, side-eye at him because he's one of the bad ones. They're not going to know. So what I'm asking here is, do you think maybe because you know his name is Perez and this is kind of painting it? If Perez looks like Louis CK, would you feel like you would change your stance on what he should and should not
well,
talk
I
about?
don't. I'm operating under the assumption that Perez looks super white at the moment, and I know white Latinos, so I don't think that would have changed anything for me. I don't really. As a person of color and someone who's been a person of color my whole life and hasn't had the shocking news that I'm not, I try not to view people
The shocking
like that.
news that you're not. That would be a damn.
No, huge no offense, Perez, but that would have completely fucked my world. Like, I know I'm Asian, but like...
Imagine if you were. That'd be hilarious. I mean, like, you know what I mean. I'm making a joke.
It wasn't like my three dark brown brothers and me being very white. We were all very similar complexion.
Yeah.
Although my father was fully Spanish, he was very pale Mexican.
Hang on, I'm just trying to find...
I only asked that because I was just fucking curious. I've never had anyone of more of a larger political background.
Yeah, this group is mostly apolitical. They just like to talk shit.
I would
Yeah,
say,
I
if you
figured
look
that.
at Twitter,
I'm trying to find the post that
Wow.
Naito made about
I was
sex
pretty
work.
pretty deeply political during the riots.
I have my politics boils down to what I think is right on certain issues and what I think is wrong on certain.
And this is the other one. I feel like in the age we live in, political literacy is more important than being able to say, well, I'm this side, I'm this side. Being able to understand things, and
Right, because
is a
it's
little
not
bit more
just a
important
left
than-
or
Yeah,
it's not a left or
multi-intelligent.
Because
right.
it's never been a left or right thing, especially if
Yeah,
you're playing
and-
into establishment politics and talking about
Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans. They're both
Well, I
established
think
parties.
they're both corrupt.
Nothing to
I
do
think
with- yeah, there's nothing to do with morality there. They're both
they're
political
both
parties.
corrupt. They're both corrupt political parties. They both just want a lot of power, and one side's struggling for different types of power through different means and different ideals. I think in actuality, a lot of people who will support one party, but there's a lot of things they might not agree with. Like, this is why I refuse to register as Republican all the time.
All right, here are Naito's tweets about sex work. Here is the altercation I got into with him,
Can you
his friends
please
Dong and Yankee.
Can you please post this in Discord?
Well, no. Well, okay. Well, I can do that. I'll post them both.
I don't use Twitter
That would-
anyway. Twitter is terrible.
Terrible.
Okay, so heads up, just to clarify, Louis C.K. Was born in America, but his family moved to Mexico when he was 1, and he stayed there until he was 7. So that's sort of
Okay,
the
so in which
idea.
case he's an expatriate. He's not
Yeah.
like a secret.
But for the record, he never identified a person of color.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought that was
I
where
would
this was
hope
kind
not.
of leading.
I would
Like,
hope not.
The only thing he ever said was, like, as a joke, he brought up that he had more of a right to talk about Mexicans than Carlos Mencia did.
Because Carlos
Because
Mencia
Carlos Mencia is none of his family is from Mexico. He's not from Mexico. His real name is like Ed Herb Hummus or something. It's not fucking hummus.
Excuse
all
me?
right, so just to check, was there anything else? Anybody wanted to clear up? Was there any other questions?
I was say,
No.
has everybody gotten their joke questions out?
Maybe.
I'll save my joke questions for later.
Yes, that would be preferable.
Yeah, save him for when I'm after I'm gone, buddy.
Oh,
I got
come
it. I got
on,
a
you're
joke.
fun.
Hold on,
You're
oh,
cool to-
shit.
I want to be here for as long as I have to be, but I do have shit I have to do.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Atreus,
so,
make your point, and then I
yeah.
will make my closing statement. Atreus, go.
Who do you guys think would win? I mean, what do you think would happen if Kirby ate Majin Buu?
The universe would implode. Now,
He would become
Angry Smash fans complaining about the meta. Next.
Now,
Nice.
I'll be honest. I did get fucking and talked over a ton, but it's fine because this is honestly what I've wanted for a very long time, and I am thankful to you, who Kiri, Indy. I don't know which one to call you. Because
you can call me Indy. Indy or Kiri is fine.
All
Call
right.
him Carrie because Indy makes me think of Indiana Jones.
I was named after him. My parents were big fans of the movies.
Oh,
That's-
wait,
That's really fucking
They
neat.
were Asian immigrants in the 90s. I can't blame them.
I got a question. Wait, is Indy Shimura? Is that your actual name?
No, Indishimori is an online handle I use because I like Kamen Rider.
Oh, okay.
All right, now, this is honestly, outside of the fudge and interruptions, this is the fact that we were able to have a mostly a civil conversation is something that I am grateful for. I thank you for your time, and while I do still have issues with how you go about your fucking confrontations on Twitter, it's fucking Twitter. It's a platform made to fucking get into fights, just like Facebook.
Thank you.
So, I won't hold it as against you as I used to, and I thank you again for your time and for clearing things up with me. I appreciate it.
No, it's all good. Like, I thought that was very productive as well. Thank you guys for your time. Enjoy the
Thank
rest
you
of
for
your
being
stream.
very educational.
It has been.
That's all right. Yeah, I
Hey,
just
real
figured
fast-
doing this was quicker than having to back and forth over Twitter again, which
Yeah.
I think we were all kind of sick of, right? Everybody was
fucking-
kind of sick of that.
It's
Hey,
so
man,
fucking
real fast.
tiresome.
Real
Yeah.
fast. I know you said you don't have like a Twitch or a YouTube, but I think you should look more into it. Not necessarily
I mean-
because like you have an eye for content or anything like that. I mean, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I mean,
but just because if you want to get like longer form concepts out there, Twitter's an awful. Like no one reads every like subsequent tweet in a chain. Like it gets decimated how many people see it.
yeah.
So if you
I mean,
want
I
to
can
make like
barely read
a
half
post
this shit.
or someone, making a video where you can kind of like make your points free form, I think it would help you a lot.
Yeah. I said this earlier. The way I said this earlier to him, like in the end. And by the way, if you want, I'm pretty decent with editing and shit. I mean, if you want some help with that, ever hit me up.
Fucking. Oh my.
What?
Sean out here with the hustle. You gotta respect the hustle.
Yeah, no, I gotta respect that, Sean. That was
I'm not asking for money, dude.
No! It's never about money. You're networking, baby. It's about making connections. That's all it
money for me.
is. Showbiz. That's all it is, honey. Look at him taking his great big puffs of vape pen like he didn't know what he was doing. You clever bastard. All right, look. Again, guys, I feel like this has been very productive. I was very glad to be able to have this conversation with you. I'll take. You aren't by far not necessarily the first people to tell me to start a YouTube channel for longer form content. There's half the reason I don't do it is because I sit down, I think to myself, well, I already juggled. Like Twitter's the only social media I really like kind of fuck with, but I already have a love-hate relationship with it. I can't imagine doing what YouTubers do and putting so much effort into editing videos and
Look,
putting all
I'm
of
not
yourself
even-
into it.
Hey, I'll
Only
do it.
I
to
don't
get
even
shitty
think-
people who are like, well, fuck
Well,
you for your social SJW
wait.
bullshit. I don't want to hear
I
that.
don't
Right.
even think you
Put
should
it this
do
way,
it as like I think as an extension of your Twitter account because it makes it easier
Well,
to
put it this way.
explain your points, and then you can just link people to the
I
video.
do have a project coming out next year that isn't. It's not based around social justice, but if you follow me on Twitter, you keep an eye out for it. It's gonna be.
I don't use Twitter.
I don't wanna
really don't.
talk about it like it's a, but it's a thing that a couple of me and my friends are doing. We're all part of the TTRPG community. We play a lot of TTRPGs over Discord and stuff, and we're planning on launching a specific live play, hopefully later in the year, which is kind of what I've been focusing on at the moment. But I know I've thought about doing my social justice stuff long form on Twitter. I'm honestly more of an essay writer, but quite frankly, the times that we live in do demand video content, really, don't they?
Yeah, people don't
Yes.
Well,
read.
if I
people
was
don't-
okay, put it
People
this way.
that that's my problem, guys. I read. I'm a fucking nerd. That's my problem.
Hey, look, I'll be honest with you.
I-
I'm not against reading. I read pretty often at work, honestly. But if I'm sitting at home, I'm not doing one thing at a time. I work 40 hours a week, all right? I'm not going to sit here and burn my eyes out
Yeah, yeah.
eating.
And if it's not relaxing for you, then don't do it as a relaxing activity. Like for me,
yeah,
I will read every night before bed. You know what I mean?
Like,
Like
I'll
whether it's an article or Twitter or whatever.
But I'll throw a video on my laptop while I'm playing video games all fucking day. We watched a fucking video about how the Wizard of Oz is fucked up last night and it took like an hour.
Oh, the production of it? Yeah, fucked. Completely fucked.
Well, not even that. Just like the content. I mean, it touched on that, but just like the content of the Wizard of Oz books and shit.
Oh, the books, yeah, the Frank L. Baum stuff.
Like,
nutty.
I don't give a shit about Wizard of Oz. I'm never going to read one of those books, but anytime you can sort of give, like, insight into an insular, not even an insular, but like an interest group that's not shared by you, that people will pay attention. I was expecting to do Common Writer shit like a year ago, and I just gave up because I kind of watched all the ones.
Oh, honestly, if I get to a point where I don't feel like I constantly be having to be like, hey, don't fucking say this out loud to 1,000 followers to people on Tokusatsu YouTube, I would love my existence on Twitter to just be me spieling out Tokusatsu opinions no one gives a shit about, but instead it's me being like, hey, don't be racist, man, please, I'm begging you. Like,
well, can I just point something out that I just want to point something out. This whole conversation with this whole what has been like the last 2-3, I don't know how long this has been going.
It's been about 2 hours. I don't know how long.
For example, if I recorded this and just took when you were talking, there was a lot of stuff you've just said that's not bad that could be easily turned into a video regardless. I mean, like,
that's how fucking cancel. That's how a lot of fucking YouTubers work. Unfortunately, is that they will take out of context clips and use that to fucking destroy somebody.
I'm talking about taking his stuff in context, and putting it in a way that can be watched by a general viewer. And because I'm just saying, it's probably not as daunting as it sounds, because literally you could just consider setting yourself up so when you have these conversations in Discords and that, you just have a record, and then just and then you go to someone like me to edit it.
Damn, it's a hustle. I love it. Well, I will keep that in mind. But thanks a lot. Either way, thanks a lot for your time, guys.
You have
do appreciate you actually hearing me out.
Yes.
I
wish
been
a
I
long
could
time.
I'm deaf.
It's been a long time coming. Shut the fuck up.
It's like 7 fucking months. Anyway, you guys have a good stream, and if you have any other questions, feel free just to DM me or message me or whatever.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Have a good one.
He left. I'm generally hoping he hits me up right now.
You are fucking trying your heart out to get that fucking hustle. I respect that.
It's content. I am starved for good. I am like.
Right, now we can get to the real meat of the issue, which is Blake.
What? That I got steamrolled again? Yes, I know.
Let me find Blake's Twitter. So one thing I want to sort of open with this, Blake, is I know you said... Blake, did you block me again?
No, I didn't block you.
Can't find your fucking Twitter account.
Hold on. I did unblock you.
Stretch. Oof, that was a long sit.
It was. Oh, yeah.
Good
Yeah,
night.
you are unblocked. I don't know why you can't find me.
Post link a tweet or something. I can follow it through that.
All right.
You want something sad? So you see this? This was up this was a lot further up at the start of this conversation.
Yo, dude, how many Nick are you on?
200, dude.
3.6.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. 200. That's too much.
No, it's not 200. It's 3.6. It's these.
I saw a man go to 250, and he just fucking
Jesus.
exploded into smoke.
Saw a man whose nick was over 9,000.
Oh, no, shut up. Old meme. Dead meme.
Alright, whatever. We can get to this further, but I will say, I know, Blake, you said earlier that this is something that you wanted to happen for a while. I'll ask you straight up front. Had you ever, messaged him and be like, hey, man...
I said on... Because in order to DM him, you have to be mutuals. So I said, but with me, my DMs are open. And so I said, my DMs are open, my Discord is open, and when I stream, anybody can fucking hop in the chat, but he had chosen not to. So the attempt at an opportunity to open the window was there, but it was also from a place of negativity. Which, having heard him out, yeah, again, I got BTFO'd. I admit I got BTFO'd.
I'm just saying though, like I feel like you should have way sooner just been like, hey man, I know we fucking whatever. I'd like to like, would you come on or my stream? Would you talk to me? Just like, because he's right when he's like, hey, I don't want you to join the stream to have a bunch of dudes yell at me. You know, like that's a completely reasonable thing not to do. I've seen that happen a billion times. But you could have set the terms yourself. Yeah, okay, I'm not.
Like we've done it to you.
Wait, what? Bear in mind,
joining a thing of having all of us fucking yell at you for like an hour or two. That's exactly what we do.
Yeah, and that's also kind of the reason why I fucking dissed myself, because I was just fucking tired of all the fucking Namla jokes, all the fucking and constantly saying and shit about me. That's
what also?
Blake, that's why we say them, because it's really funny to see someone get unreasonably angry. And
well,
like,
dude,
y'all not that you are unapproachable, because not even 2 hours ago you were screaming your fucking head off at this person.
Yeah, Blake, you should go back. You were very close. Like you were on the same level.
You need anger management, dude. I mean,
you were on the same level you were on when you told me you'd break every.
You need anger management.
I do need.
You're just lucky that I am a. You're just lucky that I am a. I am a heavier wall than Trump has ever built.
Oh my god!
Yes, I feel like that. Even when I was talking with them, like there were some things I didn't agree with what he was saying, but he made some very good points, and not to mention he's approachable. I don't agree with how he approached some of the things that he did or said, but.
It was also one of those things where, like, it felt like
it wasn't bad. That's the thing. I feel like it's like Dylan said. I feel like you could have handled it if you just talked to him.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Is like if he turns out to be unreasonable in the discussion, you win either way.
Yeah, well,
like if he comes at you and he's like the stupid one, like if you just the secret to winning an argument is to always play defensive. Unless the opponent is turtling, like just play defensive and you win.
Well, I just want to, well, mind you, I just want to kind of also point. So something.
I'm
remember how I
right now, actually.
Remember how I kept asking him, well, what if you swapped the roles a few times?
Yeah.
Stupid fucking question.
The reason I kept asking that, and I think, after a while I got it that this wasn't his motive, but the way he taught, and I see this a lot right now with the whole social justice, is you see this whole how do I explain it? This whole, well, they're white, so it's bad. So I'm like, well, if you swap the roles, it's still bad. You know, that sort of, you know, and because that shit pisses me off.
Like, hey, I'm positive there are dudes out there who legitimately just, if they see white people, they're unreasonably angry about it. But I think those people are a very small minority, and I think it's like, you can't approach every they are a minority. You can't you cannot approach a situation like that and be like, well, maybe this person's one of, like, you can't walk into if you're walking into a room of, like,
well, that's why that's why I straight asked, you know, I'm like, okay, well, is this still, you know, and I found out, you know, through asking him questions, which I considered entirely reasonable, that no, that wasn't his stance, he just genuinely had it, and I thought it was fine, yeah?
Right.
I did kind of lose my core point that I wanted to make here,
which was
that I'm not a part of the tokusatsu community. I think communities are fucking stupid, and I think people need to stop aligning. I think people need to stop making their identity entirely about one interest and trying to revert every single thing in their lives to that one interest. At some point,
well, I understand that. That's why I don't just singularly focus on excuse me. That's why I don't focus strictly on Toku. That's why I also enjoyed fucking and Yu-Gi-Oh, as you can see, Digimon, as by the fact that I play those games. And then
aren't they all carbon copies of the same thing?
What are you implying?
That you're a basic bitch with like very minimal interests.
Well, look, man.
I'm on the same with other games.
Like,
yes.
At the end of the day, you should. I feel like you'd get more mileage out of Magic the Gathering. I know a person with very great stories and very great hypotheticals.
He hasn't played it in months, and he's really jonesing.
Who?
Anyways, fuck it.
No.
Inside jokes are retarded. On the off chance that there's anyone other than us still watching this, I think at its core, a lot of people who are in this community, who talk about this community, are stuck in an infantile. They're stuck in the state of arrested development. What it is that
What's the state?
really
What is the state of arrested development?
a state of arrested development means that you got to a point in your life and you just stopped mentally developing. You haven't gone any further emotionally, even though you've grown physically. And that's more common than we like to think.
Suck my dick.
But what I think it really comes down to is I think you have a lot of people who liked Power Rangers as a kid, and because it keeps going, they keep following it. But outside of that, they haven't grown as people. They haven't had real heavy experiences. They haven't dealt with like adult issues. They haven't like grown their worldview. They have no ideology about themselves. They have no like interpretation about anything. It's hollow entertainment for them, even if it's not necessarily hollow. And that's why you have an apparently high amount of people who have seen no nuance in anything, because I feel like they approach it like a child because mentally they're still in that state. And you see that very commonly. Shut the fuck up, Dylan.
Well, especially
you see that very often in people who deal with like kids entertainment exclusively, due to only review cartoons or due to only like talk about stuff for younger people. They always kind of act like a kid.
So like a lot of the brony community in general.
Oh god, the brony community is fucking horrid.
Well, yeah, this is why I refuse to be part of that, because I grew the fuck up. I had shit happen in my life, and a lot of that stuff, not only did I reject it, but it sort of rejected me, because the way I ended up, my worldview changed, because life changes, you know? And honestly, it wasn't fun to watch anymore, because I grew up. And a lot of people just don't grow up.
So I normally don't do this, because I think this is an awful way to win an argument, and I think it comes across as, like, jacking yourself off. But I want to give an example for why I, as what I would say qualifies as a grown-ass man, like this tokusatsu shit. Specifically, why I like Kamen Rider. It's all the fucking same, so it doesn't matter that it's...
Okay, okay.
But I like it at its core for two reasons. One, I expected it to be meaningless. I discovered the writers try really hard. They actually have arcs and characters. Occasionally, they'll have bigger ideas throughout a story. But there's actually, like, the writers don't treat it like something disposable to sell toys. They actually like it, they have a care for it, and they actually try to tell a story that's compelling. I didn't expect that, caught me off guard, and I found some really good stories in Kamen Rider. At its core, they're just comic books on TV. And I think you can tell good stories in comics. I think they tell good stories in tokusatsu. That's part A. Part B, tokusatsu was designed and filmed and edited under very unique circumstances. It's incredibly difficult to work on such a short schedule, on such a special effects heavy piece of media, and having to pull it out, pretty consistently, like with only a couple weeks' notice. We saw last year, COVID started happening. They only had a buffer of like 2 episodes before they had to like start doing stopgap stuff to fill in the blanks. So there's only a turnaround of about 2 weeks for something that clearly has to go through a lot of fucking like people in order to work. And so on an artistic level, I find the filmmaking behind it really compelling. I would wager a huge amount of people in the tokusatsu community don't think about either of those things, and they don't have anything to substitute it with. They watch it because they watched it as a kid, and that momentum is carrying them into an adult.
For some people, they watch it because what they watched as a kid, it is no longer satisfying, and they'd rather watch something that seems more adult, seems in quotation marks. So stuff like the darker seasons, like Kamen Rider Black, Time Ranger, or fucking Go Busters to an extent, and stuff like that. They gravitate to that because it's like, oh, it's like what we enjoyed as kids, but it's more adult, so we can still enjoy it. That's why so many times you'll see people say, oh no, Tokusatsu is really dark, look at this, look at this, look at this, because it's trying to justify continuing to have that childish interest.
Right. Which you don't
No,
need
you're
to
completely
justify.
correct. They
You don't
feel
need to justify it.
insecure. They feel insecure
Yeah.
that something that they like is very much intended for children, not exclusively. I think, you look at Kamen Rider, there's a ton of stuff in Kamen Rider that's clearly not there for kids, that, if anything, would get in the way of a younger audience that's there for an older audience, but at its core, kids are the target demographic because kids are the ones who buy the stuff in bulk.
Now, would you really... Now,
do.
is it really a case of it getting in the way, or is it a way to open up conversations about bigger issues or deeper discussions with your kids, so that your kids can grow and learn through their entertainment?
I do think that's a primary difference. Is when you look at I've looked at a lot of Japanese media. As much as I want to fight against it, I have a lot of weeaboo tendencies. I'm a what's that fucking thing that people
There's nothing
say
wrong
in
with this. Okay.
What's that thing astrologists say when they're like, oh, I'm a Leo, but I feel like a Capricorn? What do they say? That they're fucking...
No clue, dude. I'm not...
I don't remember all the fucking terminology when it comes to astrology.
I'm doing that into weeabooism.
Well, me, it's more
And,
like...
reading stuff from, the dude who made Gundam. Gundam's phenomenal. I think Gundam's an amazing piece of art. Those first 3 series, great. The third one's not amazing. Great. And, not just great because they're fun, not just great because they're cool. Amazing war stories in a long... just in a different format. Just good war stories.
Yeah, I get it. Me, it's not
God damn it, Sean! Not every single gap in a conversation is time for you to spackle yourself in here like a goddamn cum sock.
Sean,
cum sock. Oh no!
Don't take any word of he says as truth. Don't
you listen? This man hunts geodes with a broken foot.
Do not listen to this man. He's tired. He is cranky that somebody has one-upped him for being a verbal terrorist.
This man is such an invalid. He got a fucking club foot 28 years into his life. It was a delayed club foot.
I don't love you, Dylan. With my fucking...
No, Dylan.
Fuck, what was I saying? Fuck.
Nothing.
Shit.
No.
It was all me.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
I think... Fuck, legitimately, what was I saying beforehand? I forgot.
You're talking about something you liked as a kid or something like that. I don't know.
Alright.
I don't know, something on those lines.
I was talking about Gundam. Fuck. Really good stories. I read an interview with him where he talked about all the Gundam stuff that came after him. Because he stopped making it after, the 90s. The last thing he made with Gundam was in, 93. And he didn't make another thing until 2014. So there's an interview where he was talking about it. And the new Gundam stories kind of try to continue that trend of being, darker and more serious. And his big issue was that...
Oh my god.
They weren't...
Greasy's here.
I know. Shut up. I'm making my point, goddammit. His issue with it was that they were completely ignoring that animation is for kids. They were ignoring it entirely. And because of that, he didn't think they were very good shows. They were very dark and brooding, but he never saw Gundam as a dark and brooding work. He just thought that he had a responsibility to show kids that war is awful, so that way they would know, and that way when they grew up, they didn't participate in a warmongering system. And I don't agree with the semblance that animation's strictly for kids, but I think it's fascinating that those works that are, I think, timeless, that had such an effect on me, from his point of view, he was designing them for kids. And he was building those narratives because this is the stuff he wanted kids to know, because they would eventually grow up and internalize this stuff. And I think that's a sentiment that goes through a lot of young Japanese media. And I think the common writers take that to heart, and then will infuse that into the work. Where at its core, yeah, they are partially writing for an older audience, but I think they are mostly trying to write stories that give kids real important. They give adult lessons to kids in a way that they can placate. It's super weird. It's one of those deals where, like, Ava was very influenced by Gundam. It's one of those deals where, like, because of the way it works, it's fascinating to think about. Evangelion aired in a morning time slot before school. So kids would watch it before they went to school. And I can't imagine what it must have been like to get to that finale and have to go into, like, basic math the same day.
I haven't seen Evangelion yet, so please don't spoil it.
It's tripping.
It's a fucking decades old show. If you have not learned the ending, I am shocked.
I find that aspect of Kamen Rider really interesting, and I don't know how many people in this tokusatsu community really gauge that. Like, we were talking about this a little bit, like, you know, because every once in a while we would check up on you, Blake, and laugh because your Twitter's the fucking worst thing in existence.
Suck my balls.
And it single-handedly justifies the Holocaust and everything.
What?
Wait, what?
He's right, Blake.
What am I?
He's right, Blake. You are the reason why Michael Jackson wrote Bad.
Jesus.
Anyway, and like the Tokusatsu tweet about how, like, you know, Kamen Rider isn't political. Kamen Rider is political, and, like, Kamen Rider can be political. It's not inherently political. This is what I really want to talk about, Blake. Is your shit
interpretation?
There is nothing more retarded in the world to me than taking a picture of a Kamen Rider character and writing Black Lives Matters next to it. What are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Was I the only one that did that?
No, there were probably more people who did it. But you're in front of me. Like, I'm sure other people did it.
It's meant to make a point that while yes, shows like Kamen Rider and fucking all that shit can be seen as an escapism, to say that the underlying themes are not there is just lying to yourself. It's denial.
See, Blake, if you had written that out, I would say that's a really good tweet from Blake. He makes a good point there. If there was someone who said Kamen Rider's not political and you wrote that out, I'd say that's a good point. That's a good counter argument. You didn't say that. You took a stock photo of a character and you wrote Black Lives Matters next to them.
Did I do that, or did I just tweet that, or did I just retweet it?
I'm gonna say I don't think it matters a whole lot. I think you were still, like, if you retweeted it, that meant you wanted other people to see it, and you didn't retweet it because you thought it was dumb. You are not that ironic.
No, I try not to be ironic. I don't know if I succeed.
Hey, Blake.
What the fuck do you want, Perez?
I haven't done anything. Fuck off. Now.
It was preemptive. It was a preemptive. Shut the fuck up, Perez.
I'm not threatening you in any other way. But remember how humorous some things can wrap around. I.e. that.
What? Oh no.
But me? My hands wrapping around my neck? What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh. Right. Yeah, that's called off.
Like, do you remember what I told you 6 goddamn months ago?
What did you say?
I told you to stop being retarded and ignore him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wait, ignore who?
Ignore the guy we were just talking with!
Okay, I was taking a piss.
Gotcha.
Should have done it on Mike like the rest of us. That's the trick. If you piss on Mike with someone, it's an immediate power move.
Well, I mean, I just pissed on my phone.
There's a really good scene in Fargo, the TV show, where a dude comes to, like, intimidate another dude, and while that dude's talking, the other dude just walks into the bathroom and starts to take a dump in front of him, and like the dude just doesn't know how to react to it.
You guys would kick me in an instant.
No, I wouldn't. Fuck that. You need to be a big man. You gotta do big man things. Take a big
man.
You gotta,
man. Shit.
you gotta get yourself a big house on the big side of town.
Oh, yeah, I'm 18 now, it's fine.
I also want to take a minute. I don't believe
Blake,
Blake, I'll tell you this much. I also find a problem, not exclusively with you, but I've noticed this problem with other people, where it feels as if I am following like a thread that goes nowhere, and I'm discovering that the thread is just a like circle that's so long no one can see it that it's a circle anymore. Reason, I'm gonna mute Reason's Puffs because he's.
Oh, shut up.
There's noise coming out of him.
Oh, shut up.
So fucking. Like, where the fuck are all these people? Where are all these fucking people who are talking shit about how, like, Tokusatsu is not political? At some point, like, I'm positive. Hey, yeah, Blake, it probably is a thing, but you need to ask yourself 3 questions anytime you see a thing. 1, is this a significant thing that I feel the need to respond to and thus give it more attention and feed it? 2, is this person legitimate? And if they aren't legitimate, are they maybe doing this specifically to try and get a rise out of me? And 3, is what I'm going to say actually going to have any meaningful change, actually have a chance at changing this person? Or are they just set in their ways and all I'm really doing is showing off for everyone? That's what fucking taking your characters and writing Black Lives Matters on them does. Well, it's just all you're doing is showing everyone that you agree with the sentiment that Black Lives Matters and co-opting it with this piece of art that's not about that. Even if it's about that thematically in the sense that, like, Kamen Rider is about what defines...
Post which character... Tell me which character it was, because I think I can explain it.
See, one of them was straight up the dude from the new Sentai who's not even out yet. So we don't know anything about him. Maybe he hates black people.
Jesus Christ. But no, if it's from the current running Sentai, it's because his actor actually said Black Lives Matter.
Maybe it's because the fucking Zenkaiger dude was at fucking Nanking. You don't know he wasn't.
Oh, Lord!
Maybe you misheard. Maybe he actually said Rap Lives Matters.
Shut the fuck up!
And like again, I don't doubt that, like, if those characters were real, yeah, they probably would feel that way because that's what those works are about. Kamen Rider's ultimately about how your actions define your humanity and not your fucking and not like what you look like or who you are. Like, being a monster physically doesn't make you a monster, and like being a human doesn't make your fucking awful actions
justifiable.
Good. Yeah, like that's what the one like common thread through all of them. God damn, dude, you tweet a lot about nothing.
I saw Kamen Rider build kneeling on the deck of Kamen Rider Black.
Man, I don't get Twitter. I don't understand the appeal. I never have.
See, it would be Drive. Come on, you gotta pick one that's a cop.
I don't fucking know any.
You could have Googled it. You could have DM'd me. You could have done a lot of things.
I have heard.
You could have turned the gun into snowflakes or the bullet into mist. You could have done anything.
What?
I have heard the word Sentai too many goddamn times tonight.
I'm gonna send you some Sentai if you're not careful.
Sentai?
So wait a minute, isn't Sentai just like a...
Is Sentai just like a rip-off of hentai?
No.
God fucking damn it. C-Rex, I'm gonna come to your house.
Sentai, actually, I found this out.
Fire in it.
It's what they used to call squads in the Japanese military.
Huh. I actually did not know that. That's interesting.
Which, like, that's a little fucked up, considering the lengthy history of war crimes committed by the Japanese military.
That people...
It all came full circle.
You know, something I did kind of want to bring up.
Go
the
ahead.
whole fucking Kira shit. Daily reminder that the first arc of Dragon Ball Z is literally the rape of Nanki.
What? It's been a while since I've either seen or OG Dragon Ball.
I guess it kind of is. The Saiyans just show up and start wrecking dudes.
Yeah, the Saiyans are clearly Japanese. Well, the world they're living in is supposed to be China.
Oh, I never picked up on that. You're right. Like it's a China. I guess it is. Also, Blake, I want to point this out. This is a shitty thing for you to tweet. That's like his third form.
What?
That's not... Ichigo doesn't look like that for the whole show, so the joke here doesn't even work.
What form? What?
Look, I posted it in fucking general. You can see it.
Let me... Play it, damn you! I think the joke was that it's, the forms weren't as drastic or toyetic.
No, that's true. But also, like, you should have picked, like, X. Or Amazon. Or someone. That one...
Unfortunately, Amazon...
Like 4 times.
Amazon... you can make the argument that Amazon has multiple forms because Amazon has the bracelets.
I think Blake just picked this
Also,
picture because there's a guy holding the beer. I don't think there's
also, Stronger's got, like, 4 forms. So does Black. This is stupid. You're stupid.
Black does not have multiple forms. You're thinking of Black RX.
They're the same character, and you know that they are.
They are counted as different.
You've got to love how this sounds to someone who knows nothing about this stuff.
It sounds really stupid. We know.
The one that was like Black Lives Matters and then Black Lives Matters RX was also really fucking stupid.
Wait. I don't know.
Wait, he didn't do that, right?
Someone did it.
I didn't do it. I just retweeted it.
Okay, because I was about to have a serious flipping talk with you.
Why can't you say fucking? Jesus.
Blake, you're
okay.
very...
I was about to have a serious fucking talk with you, like, what's wrong with you?
There we
Blake,
go.
You are very lucky that your little Twitter friend very immediately started stating on how proud of an Asian he is, and that how much he hates like stereotypes and all that. Because the second he came in, I was gonna say, "Hey, look, it's the guy you have yellow fever for."
No!
No, you can't say that.
Oh no!
Would have completely ruined your
It would have cut. That would have fucking derailed like a motherfucker.
I'll be honest with you. From what
been
I've heard, I bet he would probably have.
train
That seems like a joke that would have been up his alley, if only because I bet that dude hates white dudes lusting after Asians all the time.
Yeah, I don't
know
get
about
that.
you,
I don't get
but,
that. What's wrong? What's wrong? I didn't get that bit. What's so wrong with a
Well,
white?
there's nothing wrong with it, but it's fucked up when
Liking-
you turn an entire race of people down to like a sex thing. Like that's a little belittling.
Oh yeah, no. I
don't think the it's weird to say. It's weird to say like, oh, I really like fucking the Asian, like that's all like weird like phonology shit. It's not racist to fuck an Asian person, but it is weird to go to like specifically target Asian people.
Well,
Because that's
yeah. But it's okay. My Pornhub search.
It's not like nearly as like it's not like it's. That's not.
You live under a goddamn rock.
I probably do because I've been trying to like in recent. Believe it or not, this is the most I've been involved with.
Fucking internet news by like goddamn carrier pigeon.
Put it this way, this is the most. This is the most I've been involved with this type of internet bullshit in like months.
We've talked about before how like has like an other or an opposite. I feel like this dude is V's opposite. Where like V is super like educated and he knows and he's like very in tune with shit. And
I'm not uneducated. I'm not uneducated. That's. And I'm just not. I just thought all this shit was bullshit and it wasn't doing me much good. And I got away with it and started to just going like things that just made me, laugh and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, people.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing to do, but it's one of those things where this happened literally 2 years ago. Like this was like deja vu listening to something similar that happened 2 years ago, Blake, and I just wanted to hear what this guy had to say. And he made some really good points, but some things I just didn't really agree with. But I can see your perspective where this shit gets so monotonous and so redundant, and people are so overly aggressive. And I hate to say this, but sometimes these woke people, they can be just as racist, if not more so, and they don't even realize.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
But the thing is, you have to stop and ask why. Like, is that just my perspective, or is that literally what everybody else is feeling in the room? And plus, what kind of room are you in? I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I didn't get that from that dude. I thought he felt very passionate about what he had to say.
Actually.
Yeah, I think he felt very passionate about what he had to say, but I didn't get that kind of vibe from him. But I have seen.
I mean, I did at times, but then I just questioned it, and his answers were like, "All right, yeah, you're good." You know?
But
yes, it
you're
was
okay for not wanting to participate in that shit because it is unhealthy, but it doesn't hurt to question yourself on that kind of thing. It never hurts.
Seaworks, do you mind if I interject with this here? You seem like a really alright guy. You really do. But, from this just one encounter, I remember talking to Leo Conroy about you, about our first interaction with you, and he says, "Oh, that guy." Yeah, I called his father at some point, and I thought it was really funny.
No, he didn't. I guarantee you that did not happen. Yeah, there's no way that would happen. I'll say that because he's probably getting me confused with someone else.
Probably.
Because if some rando on the internet, content like that, I would have heard about that by now.
I mean, I remember you being under the moniker Green Gear at some point, I do believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
but there's no way.
He was a bit more bombastic at that time.
Who?
Ha.
Who was what?
He was a bit more and I'm saying this unironically, like bombastic at the time.
Who?
Fucking
Who? Me or Leo? Me.
Yeah.
What do you mean by bombastic? I don't understand.
Bombastic.
They call me
No,
Mr.
he was,
Bombastic.
Loud,
Seaworks,
brash.
Seaworks, how old are you?
18.
Alright.
If you don't believe me, I'll go get my fucking passport.
No, it's not that I don't believe you.
I'm
Hey, did you say if you don't believe him, you're gonna delete your password? What?
No, I'll go get my
I don't-
passport.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll just remove, I'll put my fingers and shit over like the important.
Wait. Why am I saying like that? God damn it. Fuck it. Wasn't this the guy that was recording us that one time?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
This was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago or something like that. I don't even know.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna make a joke towards Blake, but it don't fit no more.
What were you going to say?
What do you think I was gonna say?
I don't know. Let me go through my list of Perez sayings.
One joke.
Something bombastic YouTube reaction, something bombastic Reddit, something.
You don't have a list, do you?
No, I'm pantomiming.
Blake, I also want to point out. I'm sorry, I'm getting closer to it. This picture's hilarious.
Seamus should draw that.
He did. He drew it multiple times.
Really?
This picture looks fake. Like, I'm looking at this picture and it looks like a weirdly bad Photoshop because it looks like you're holding something that's supposed to be 3 times as big.
It is supposed to be. The prompt for the Darulu Saber is big enough to be considered an actual weapon, but the toy, not so much.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't butt touch any of that stuff because it's proportionate for kids, but I'm not a kid. But it doesn't change the fact that.
God damn it, Ocross. All right, fine. There you go. Ocross has fucking approved the redeemed Make Me Dab.
There we go.
Okay, hold on.
There we go.
I found it.
I'll fucking hate you.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's funny.
Yeah, that's not what Seamus drew.
Here, okay, so Blake, so you retweeted this one, all right? And then that's a response. Hold on.
Hot. Thank you, Hot, for the compliment on my Twitch profile picture, I guess.
That's a response to this one.
Hold on.
But okay, so like that's maybe a legitimate whatever. Like you could then make a legitimate. You could probably then like go into more detail about the response to it, but whatever. Hold on one second. Fuck. I'm spooking myself.
How do you spook yourself? What?
Spook myself all the time.
Spook yourself, more like lose yourself.
Which isn't a response to anything. So okay, so this dude's saying this show has political themes. Doesn't mean it's parallel to what's currently going on in the real world, especially in the U.S. I mean that's obvious because it came out 3 years ago, dipshit. Which would have been the best response. Is just pointing out like, yeah, of course it's not parallel, dumbass. It came out 3 years ago. Good job.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
Like, how do I become one of the voice actors for the Veil Busters?
You fucking can follow. Oh, him.
By the way, you might want to talk to that Miriam person because they posted a tweet during all this saying that they were distancing themselves from you.
Yeah, and then the fucking stream itself happened, and they unblocked me. So once the stream is over, I'm going to fucking speak to them.
Alright.
Blake, by the way, I did we have been obsessed with Veil Busters.
Why?
Okay, so like again, like
because it's a thing that I was in.
Because it's one of the worst things any of us have ever seen.
It's the first fucking thing that she's done. Fucking cut some slack. Like
yeah, you're gonna punch your fucking Salvation Army member in the face. Did you write that one, Blake?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course she did.
So like I keep finding, all I keep finding here is
Oh, Perez, you owe me some
as I'm
money.
going through here, is I find a lot of tweets talking about how no, Tokusatsu really is political. Which again, is a sentiment I agree with, at least in regards to Kamen Rider. But I can't find the origin of this, which is people saying it's not political. And I'll tell you this,
I think it's because that conversation is several months old, and the people that were saying no, it's not political, were already chased off of Twitter.
Maybe, but like, shouldn't there still be like a tweet or something here that I can see? I've spent my entirety of Kamen Rider fandom on the M board of 4chan. If there was anyone in the world who was going to be anti-politics, it likely would have been those guys. But if anything, that group of people were the most political. They were the most vocal about like how much they liked it when the shows discussed these issues because they thought they did a good job. Like, the only exception to that was people being like, yeah, Forza doesn't do any of this, but it's just fun. And like, it was like, those are the extremes.
And weirdly enough, Forza is the one where one of the actors went on to join a cult. That's kind of sad if you think about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, joining the cult's generally pretty...
I prefer 5Z.
I
don't even know what this one is. This one's even shitty, because this one's not even how the meme works. They're supposed to be looking at something together. Like, at least put some effort in.
Like, this is literally
at least reduce the image, put it to the left, and then put a planet.
This is legitimately the main reason why Dylan won you back.
So you should yell at me about my Twitter?
Okay, so here.
Yes.
Like, look at this. This is retarded.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure that was made by a black person in the fandom, so...
I don't care if it's made by a black person in the fandom, it's retarded. What it is performative, but it's the weirdest, worst kind of performative where you're co-opting content. You are co-opting art that has no connection to what you're talking about. Like, Kamen Rider is not about Sentai. It's not about race issues. Kamen Rider is not about race issues.
I mean, it can be. Like I said, Time Ranger tackled it. Fucking And Time
Sure,
Force
it-
tackled
yeah.
it. SPD tackled
can
it.
be. It can be.
You know what I was really
I would
hoping to
shit.
come from tonight? I was really hoping that Juice would keep saying slurs and they'd like want to talk to him, and Juice would go and speak into his mic, and the person would get very upset. Would be like, oh, never mind.
Like,
That's what I was hoping from tonight.
yeah, that would have been fun. Like, yeah, I agree, and I would say that like the characters would probably agree with that sentiment if they were real. It makes sense that that a lot of the actors agree with that sentiment because they probably share those ideals. That doesn't change the fact that using these characters and slapping Black Lives Matters on them does nothing, says nothing, and is patently stupid. Do you remember the Hong Kong riots from like a couple years ago?
Still going.
Yes.
They are.
Free Hong Kong
Okay.
and all that.
I remember
Free
the
Hong
Overwatch
Kong.
drama.
They used Mei from Overwatch as a symbol because she's from Hong Kong.
Yep.
And because there was censorship around it, and with all this other, so it made sense to use that character. It would make some level of sense to use a fictional character who deals with, you know, the problems that are happening in the black fucking God damn it, how do I not know what word I'm trying to say here? In the black community today. Of like a character that deals with government oppression would make sense to use in this context or whatever. But ultimately, what this shows is that you are insulating yourself from these real issues with the art you consume instead of engaging it directly. And that's what really upsets me. Is instead of just dropping the veil and talking about this stuff and learning about it and being like I did, like most of the people I saw did, it's not for any moment can I stop talking about tokusatsu. At no point can I shift my interest to another thing or talk about something unrelated or something more mature or something darker or something unique or whatever. I have to find a way to relate everything back to this one thing I like. And it's nauseating. And it feels almost as if, like, instead of engaging on the actual discourse, instead of engaging in real discourse and really talking about it and, like, pointing out all the awful shit that was happening, all you do is find a way to instead focus on an insular, very small problem in your immediate community that means nothing. It means absolutely nothing to tell people that tokusatsu is political, because it's very obvious, unless you're an idiot. And if you can't tell from watching any of the shows, it doesn't matter, because you're not fucking voting. You're not taking part in the conversation in the first place.
I mean, I do vote, but for other people, yes.
I'm using, like, the general view.
Yeah, I know. I figured.
Allow me to retort. Like, you want to see another work of art made by a black person of the community?
Oh boy, what? Who? What? I'm confused. Oh boy.
Their name is Asher. They weigh. Okay, well, what are they? Hold on. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that one only made sense. That's the one you posted because the actor behind it had said it. That's the general consensus. That is the general points of connection, and that everybody makes.
Hey, you know what? I will give you that one. That the actor for this character said it. And as a result, someone made something that sort of invigorated it into that. I think this is still retarded. Okay, if you want to do this, you should do what fucking Insomniac did, where they gave Miles Morales, who has a direct connection to a very strong connection to the black community, because he's a very prominent black character that a lot of black people, especially black children, have identified with, and they gave him a unique outfit that was very much in line with, like, the motif of Black Lives Matters.
Okay.
That's
Blake,
what you should have done.
For Blake.
This is just lazy.
Blake, Asher, he is a kitsune god. He weighs about 6,730 pounds. And his
Who is
full
this?
height is 75 feet tall.
Why do I feel like you're just describing some fucking mentally deficient role player?
That's
You shouldn't say things
Okay, come on, Blake. Is that any way to talk about Jarper Wolf?
Is it Jarper? No!
It is
As he started doing like role playing dumb shit.
Now it's one of his own scenes.
Well then what the fuck is the problem?
That's just really retarded. We're
Yeah, it might
aghast that he's getting into necrophilia and he doesn't even know it.
he's getting into
What?
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 Oh no. I am concerned.
He has done 300 images of Asher. Fucking
Okay.
macro editing.
Oh,
I have a
macro.
question.
I thought you said necro.
What time zone
Huh?
are you guys in?
It
am.
is fucking
We're
almost.
in
It is almost
Hauser.
3.
Okay, it's 4 a.m. here.
we're shotgunned all over.
That's insane that we are on the opposite sides of the planets, but it's the same time for me and you.
What do you mean? I
No,
live in the
Sean.
United States.
Sean lives in on the
I'm a
East
I'm a dual
Coast.
citizen. I have 2
I thought he lived
passports.
in Australia.
No, he's from
did for
Australia.
Oh,
I
okay.
did for 16 years of my life. In 2018, I moved to the United States to live with my dad.
Okay, never mind.
Blake, my person, this is also Asher.
You can
This
say
is
that
him
I'm
at his full.
In hindsight, that was a little retarded. of me.
bit silly.
This is- This is Blake. No, this is Asher at full height.
Oh no. I mean, I don't fucking deal with macro shit. I was more
What
concerned because I thought you said necro. If it was necro, I'd have to fucking and look at Jarper and be like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
Why would you? I don't understand the appeal of necrophilia. I mean,
No, macrophilia.
yeah, but I mean, like, I don't, just in general, I don't understand it. I mean, living things fight back. I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know. That's the Zeus sadists.
I'm gonna keep going with this stunt. Here's another one. Please keep politics out of Tokyo, and then it's the picture of the country being like split apart. Common Writer Build. I'm gonna say this much: Build is a political show because it's an anti-war show. Being anti-war is a political message.
Yeah.
Any message about how you believe the world should be run is political. That's even as minor as like we should be kind to each other is a political statement. I don't think Build is ultimately a show of like it's not particularly political though. It's about politics in the sense that there are politicians that are like vying for control with each other, and that's interesting, I think. But it's not especially political outside of that statement.
I wasted
And I don't think
so
it's particularly relevant because if you're really against war, wouldn't you also be against the riots? If anything, you would take it as an anti-BLM message.
I think the riots are really dumb. I think rioting has not fixed anything. It's painted a target on the backs
It
of
wasn't supposed to fix anything. It was supposed to put a dollar value to a man's wrongful death.
Now, you see, funny Australian man, it's because you don't know what it's like to be part of this blessed country. And
I mean, I can admit that.
You do not have the ability to see foresight in the great.
Yeah, I'll
Excuse
admit
me?
that I have more ties to Australia. I mean, I'm planning on going back once I finish high school here,
I'm sorry.
and I have some semi. So,
Also, here's another one that I'm also going to criticize. This is more minor. Well, like, I understand the sentiment behind this, which I believe, but the reason Ratchet gets stuff is not because of Sony. It's because of Insomniac. Sony didn't buy Insomniac until, like, 2017. They didn't own Insomniac Studios until after Spider-Man.
Huh, I didn't know. I legitimately
So
didn't know.
So Insomniac, legitimately, they've just been funding Ratchet and Clank games because they're profitable and they are successful. You guys probably don't remember this. Resistance 3, which was supposed to be a really big release for them, one of the worst performing games of the PlayStation 3. I think it sold under like 200,000 copies in its first week.
I forgot to switch.
Yeah,
Oops.
I feel like by the
Not
time
Battlefield,
Resistance 3 came out,
Why are you
it's
still
not-
playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Blake?
Because the stream is still going.
It fucked them up super bad. They ended up having to sign like a really shitty contract with EA to put out another game, where EA completely changed the game that they were making. They had to do that Microsoft exclusive contract for a bit to
Wasn't that game
Well,
also?
fun.
Wasn't that game Fuse or? Because
It was originally like Overstrike or something, and then it got changed to Fuse and like got an edgy makeover and shit.
Yeah, because I remember her the whole kerfuffle, that people had found out later. People were saying that the reason Fuse got changed was because of focus tests, and edgy teenagers saying, "No, we don't like how colorful this is." But that makes a little bit more sense.
Also, remember the game. Remember the gaming scene at the time. You know.
Yeah, like that was where we were.
Yeah.
Like they had a really bad run for a while there. And then like I think Sunset Overdrive was fairly popular. It reviewed well. I think Microsoft was satisfied with it. Obviously not enough to do another one.
No, they did.
No, they only did one Sunset Overdrive.
No, they did a second one.
What was
they
the
did.
second one called?
Wait, am I getting something? I swear they made a second one.
No, they
Sunset
never- no.
Yeah, no, it's Sunset Overdrive 2, Rising Machines.
God damn it, Adrenas.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's no sequel. I would have known if there was a sequel. I wanted to play that game. I was really upset because I never got an Xbox and I was wanted to play it.
Well, now it's on Steam.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't have a computer that can run it. Although I'm planning to finally buy like a proper desktop.
Don't get a desktop. People, I mean, they're better. Well, it depends what you need. Why do you want to get a desktop over a laptop?
Play video games.
I have a laptop that plays games fine. That's
I'm sure you do, but I ain't gonna drop more. I'm sure you do, but I wanna just fucking bite the bullet on something that I can like potentially upgrade later on.
Don't fall for the Josh bit of mine works just as fine as this fucking thing produces smoke.
Yeah, if you get a specific one, but it's really hard to find one that's like under $1,000 that'll like play any like has any sort of graphics card in it.
Like my fucking gaming laptop. My fucking gaming laptop cost me $1,100, and it still has it's starting to have problems running Devil May Cry. I have 5. It starts to get hotter than usual.
Well, I don't use my computers. I have a 2015 Alienware that my dad used to own. It's got some issues.
For the Alienware meme.
Fuck you. Point is, I run everything into external hardware. I have a separate monitor, keyboard, and mouse because it's more comfortable, and because I'm at school today, especially now, I'm glad I did. Like, school was all online for me, so I'm so glad I have this set up. Otherwise, I would be so much pain hunching over that thing. But no, the reason it depends on your situation. Like me, with me and my dad, I mean, and with me being so unsure what's gonna happen the next few years, I can't invest in a desktop because I can't take a desktop with me anywhere. This I can shove in a backpack, take it with me back to Australia, take it to another state. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, it all depends. I'm just saying, just consider what's going to be happening to you and if it's going to be viable to take it with you. You know.
Well, here's the problem with that. Dylan's not a very upwardly mobile person. Also,
that's fine. I'm just sort of.
Like at that point, I would probably invest mostly in just a really like good phone. You can get a really good phone for like $600 to $700 if you know what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm not a mobile guy.
You can get a good phone for less, like a pretty good phone for like a little less than that.
Anyway, I'm gonna. Yeah,
wait before you go.
No, I'm not saying to leave. I'm just saying I'm gonna save for a new laptop before I get a new PC desktop because I can't.
I think that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
I have a laptop. It works fine. I just want a desktop that'll give me
that's
a little
fine.
more freedom.
Dylan can't travel with his laptop anyway. It looks like a fucking.
But mind you, I have very.
It's big.
Mind you, I knew
it's
that.
also the battery's also dead in it, like it's dead.
Oh shit, that sucks.
So I have to have it plugged in all the time. And I gotta
That
tell you
sucks.
this, I forgot that was a problem until like 2 days ago. I've had it like this for like a year and a half, and it just never came up. I never need to move it.
Mm.
But yeah, C-Rex. Hot take. You're already at home all the time anyways. You might as well just drop out.
No, because I need a diploma. Because I'm gonna have to wait. If I can't go, I'm not gonna go into Y right now. Well, no, I will actually. So because of online school, my dad's making me take Adderall again, which I don't want to take because I can't. I hate the online school. I can't do it. I can do a physical class. I can do other things. I just not with a job and stuff. I can't do online school without. I hate that. It doesn't help that other stuff's going on right now, but no, I have to be off Adderall for 2 years to join the military, but you also need a diploma to do so. So I mean, that's why after high school I'm going to go back to Australia.
Join the U.S. military?
Yeah, why not? I'm a citizen.
Dad's really trying to make sure you don't get deported.
What do you
Also,
mean?
this one's also
No,
retarded.
he's not.
People
That's not his choice. That's my choice. He didn't come
This
up
tweet.
with that.
This tweet's retarded. People
Why would
accusing
I
others
get
of being
deported? I'm a
bootlickers
fucking
do not
citizen. I
support
was
the
born in
Q are
this country,
retarded. You're not protesting to free anyone. You're protesting to keep a fascist in power. Like, do not be for vendetta. You're the opposite. Hate to tell you this, buddy. If you squeal on the feds in any fucking way, you're a bootlicker. Like every branch of the government is still in the position of power. You're still fucking like, hey, sorry that they're on the opposite side of you. Doesn't change anything. Don't fucking squeal on people. Don't fucking squeal to the FBI, you fucking un-American cuck.
But yeah, no, I gotta get my diploma.
There's nothing really true more American than not trusting the government.
The only the biggest problem here is that the people who are protesting.
I have two governments I can't trust. The
people who stormed the Capitol aren't apolitical. They were following the orders of the president. The president told them to do it.
And
like,
that's kind of
exactly.
That's a big fucking issue.
Yeah, like that's a good reason. That's a good reason to be disgusted by what Trump did and to want these people arrested. But also, hey, sorry, the system that abused you is the same system that you're hoping will now take care of these people. And hey, sorry, but that
shit.
You have to be ideologically consistent.
You want to see a scam in progress?
If you don't treat everyone the same, then you're fundamentally the same as the people who beat the shit out of you for being for arbitrary reasons.
For existing.
Yeah, basically.
And that's what it ultimately is. It's ultimately racism is hating someone for something arbitrary that they can't control.
Well, I don't understand racism because I don't understand the whole white. Because I'm white. I don't give a shit.
Cut off the traffic to pull over.
Well, yeah, but I don't understand it because personally, the way I was brought up was, fuck it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's dumb. I mean, the whole race thing, it's a fucking skin color. It wasn't the melanin count. I don't fucking care about a melanin count. I care if you're a fucking good person. If you're a shitty person and you're black, it's not because you're black, it's because you're a shitty person. Right now, I'll also say, if you're a shitty person and happen to be black, I'm gonna fucking target that because I'm an asshole. But it's not because you're black, it's because you're a shitty person. Like, I don't give a shit what
Same
black people do.
argument like every fucking person on the planet has.
Well, yeah. Well, the difference is I'll still call a black person radio edit person, but not.
That's not what you should do. That's a bad thing.
That's no.
That was that took an interesting turn. That's like that video where the video at the protest who has the crowd on his side and then he says radio edit in all races.
No one said that, did they?
Yeah, somebody did. Somebody did.
I mean, someone did say that, and his name's C-Rex, and he said it 20 seconds ago.
There's the Australian bleed too.
Fuck you, dude. Hey man, the point is,
Hey,
Aussie Day. Oh, some fucking SJWs in Australia heard about trying to get rid of Australia damn place. I'm like, fuck you, it's not fucking racist. If you're a fucking Aussie citizen, you're still part of Australia Day. It doesn't mean fuck all. It's like, fuck you, cunt. I mean, it's fucking culture and the way, and people say, oh well, you
The
have my.
place that have like the most minuscule amount of like any people of color is probably fucking Australia.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it is.
that's because they massacred them.
No,
Yes,
that's because that's not.
They
no,
did a
actually-
way. They did a
Oh, they did some bad
way.
shit,
They were
but-
way better at killing their colors than we were.
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ!
no, it was no, but
Hey,
what
I
the
didn't.
other-
I didn't fucking.
The other
I didn't
thing
do
is,
it.
the other thing
My
is,
grandmother.
Australia
My
has
grandmother was
really.
Cherokee.
Well, the other thing is, Australia's a fucking island. It's not the easiest place to emigrate to, and the only reason I have citizenship is I have citizenship by descent, and then I have citizenship in the United States by birth. So that's my thing there. In fact, if I was going to get deported from anywhere, it'd actually be Australia, not the United States.
Goddamn grandfather laws, letting these fucking pinkos in my.
Oh, okay. I finally found this. Blake, you did a thread of
Yeah,
like
if
3
you're
tweets
into your
here
country,
that
I
are
was born
legitimately
here,
the
you
worst
fucking
tweets I've ever
asshole.
read.
My dad's American as well.
Hold on.
Sounds like
Sean.
a racist.
Let Dylan fucking chastise me.
I'm the one
Let's
pissed
let
him
Lucky
off.
speak.
Ew.
I'm the one pissing him off.
Yes, guys.
Uh,
What are we gonna do? Cut your dick off and then put a strap around?
so someone wrote, how many of your OCs have the ability to stop time? Blake, you wrote out like 3 of them that all have the same ability, and they all sound like shit.
Don't fucking. All right, fine.
My Hero Academia OC's quirk, pause. I think it's taken. I think the black dude who can stop things in midair has that. That's his
Black
name.
pause loads.
I think, I mean, wouldn't that be a cool idea though, being able to stop time? That would be amazing. I'd love that.
He has the time to stop.
I could fuck whoever I wanted to,
Shut
and I
up.
can say no.
He can stop time indefinitely for everyone except him. The drawback is, once he stops using it and time restarts, he has to wait exactly 24 hours before he can use it again, which makes it more of a joke power. What type of fucking joke power is that? Because
It's
you don't
basically.
ever say that.
Well, here's the thing. Let me explain. Hey, it's like, hey, if there's a fucking fight going on and then they are asking, oh shit, hey dude, we need you to fucking stop time. And it's like, I can't. I have to keep waiting. What do you mean you have to keep waiting? Hey, I used it earlier or today. Hey, for something completely mundane. That's where the joke comes in.
Okay, sure. The problem is, if you fucking... There's no limit on how long he can keep time paused. So he can just pause time for weeks and do literally everything he could ever need to do. Like, imagine doing that and then breaking into a bank. Or, like, you could just walk right in, copy state secrets, and then just walk right out. You wouldn't even need to take them. You could physically write them down and leave everything as is. You'd be
Took a
unstoppable.
photo. Oh,
Yeah.
The real question is Here's the question: are there rules of that? While in that state of pause time, can you access? Because if a phone is in a state of pause time,
No,
electrons
the
are
only thing
physically frozen.
The only thing in that is able to move is the character, or everything else is paused.
Blake, I saw there was a TV show on Sci-Fi called like The 11th Room or some shit. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a bunch of objects from a hotel room that had like weird
Oh
powers.
god, I know what the fuck you're talking about.
There was an episode where it's a photograph, and when you like hold it up and think with it, it stops time.
Huh.
You cannot move anything when time is stopped. You can only stop time for like 15 seconds, and you
Can you move people?
immediately, like, your brain hemorrhages while it happens. And it was still, with all of those drawbacks, considered the most valuable thing in the fucking room.
Yeah. I mean, here's the problem. You know, it'd be really.
I prefer the
Imagine if a rapist got that power.
Oh my god. No, unfortunately, hey Sean, there is a fucking somebody's already thought of that.
I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding.
Our joke thing was that, like, hey, Blake has all these characters with time stop abilities. I think he used it to go around and fuck. You know how I'm finishing that.
I've thought, like, if I could stop time indefinitely, there's a really, or like a thing, it was a 4chan thing, where it's like a dude stops time, and then he finds, like, this beautiful, like, actress, and then he spends 100 years of masturbating on her.
Oh my god.
Until she's literally, like, under a mountain of jism, and then he leaves and restarts time.
No.
And, like, so, like, to her, no time has passed at all.
Oh no.
You know, that's fucked up, but I love it.
Yeah, of course you do. Fucking freak.
Be hilarious. It's hilarious.
But no, honestly, if you could pause time, you could do so much good shit. I mean, shit. Think about it. I mean, think about all the things that happen every second. The bad shit, or the things that are about to happen just seconds later. That you could, because yeah, pause time, as long as it's infinite while pause, you can do everything. And then that 24-hour limit, I mean, yeah, maybe you can't, maybe it won't be useful in this specific situation, but on a global sense, you know, like, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, like someone's about to shoot someone, and then, like, yeah, let's say you happen to pause them at that point. Oh, this person's about to die. Move the bullet.
Yeah, like you can, the whole point of the fucking power is being able to pause the villains, and so the vigilantes or whoever, and just being able to fucking one-hit KO them while they're trapped in pause time.
You know, it'd be really scary if you could do that and everyone's conscious of the pause time.
It's frozen in time and you're sucking off all. Man,
I mean, at that point, it's just paralysis.
Yeah, but no, it would apply to objects and shit too.
No, that's paralysis.
So what?
I'm gonna paralyze you.
Paralyze these nuts.
Yes, you're like your nuts have been in a permanent state of paralysis for years.
Huh. Oh well. I already deal with that. It's called sleep paralysis.
No, it's called you can't get it.
What? I'm confused.
Neither can I. Neither can I. I have my own issues, but that's not the point.
What?
I think he's calling you an incel.
Yeah, just finish the joke.
Finish the fucking joke.
What? Oh yeah, no, I was just calling Blake an incel. It's one already said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's me. It's not that I don't want to have sex.
But also, hey, this one's retarded.
Can you
like,
stop
hey,
bouncing
idiot,
your leg?
Fucking, I don't know, buddy. Like, it's a slightly annoying tick. Just like, shut up.
Dude,
I can't believe how many fucking likes this thing.
I've been
has.
bouncing
So
my leg the
retarded.
entire time. Well, I stopped, but now I am again because you mentioned it. How dare you?
Give a shit. Shake your leg.
I have
Some people are assholes.
Great question, Blake.
What?
What a...
I also do
You're
have
gonna
a,
do Aquanaz, you're gonna take that? There's a little sass in that fucking what?
I know, Perez.
Oh, fun fact, I'm using my phone as a webcam.
Yeah, you
That's
stated
not very
like
fun.
you stated that like 2 or 3 times already.
Oh, did I?
Yes, Chuck.
Oh shit. I'm fucking tired.
Hmm.
It's nearly 5 in the fucking morning, Jesus. I should go to bed. I have shit to do tomorrow. I have to vacuum the house, I've got schoolwork I need to get done, so I don't get into too much trouble.
I also have things to do tomorrow. Oh,
yeah, I
so
need
after
to,
this fucking, after this
lunch
fucking
now.
fight, I'm going to end the stream.
Like, I don't believe you've ever been in a fight in your life.
After this duel, shut up.
There you go. I don't think you've been in a duel either.
Shut the fuck
Been in a
up.
fucking internet card game.
Okay.
Mo, if you're really feeling dangerous, you'll do it with someone in real life.
Please, deja vu, Blake. I'm sorry, but it was.
Yeah, that's...
What's
Till we
deja
go, till we go for 3. I don't know. Why don't you just wait 2 years?
Not do it anymore, Blake. That's bad.
Bad.
Yes,
like,
Mom.
Aquanaz, Aquanaz, I'm gonna bring it back.
Oh,
for a minute.
Aquanaz, that reminds me. I just remembered. What did
No,
Leo
you
say
can't.
about me?
I wasn't like clearly
He
getting
just
built
laughed
something for
and said he called your father.
He did not call
That's what
my
he-
father. I want to make sure
no,
that.
he said he called somebody.
Called out your father's name while I was fucking him.
Okay, what was it? What was his?
Jesus
What is my
Christ.
father's name? What does he believe? Oh wait, wait.
Nigga, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I didn't ask him your fucking personal details. I don't give a
I guarantee you, he's full of bullshit.
I don't know. I don't care. I thought it was funny.
Leo is the classic internet tough guy.
Yes.
That is
No
all
one
I'm gonna
cares,
say.
Sean. Shut up. Aquanaz, Rate this writer.
Did you say rape this right?
Rate, R-A-T-E.
I don't know.
The
Is
fucking
he a fidget spinner, Dylan?
the
is he
decade
one of those
upgrade is
fucking
fucking
fidget
atrocious. But
You
anywho,
can't see it, but his cape is his cape. I think the idea is that his cape is made out of cards, but in reality, it's just a pink piece of cloth that they glued some cards to.
It looks.
Okay, well, so what the fuck is this fucking pauldron shit?
Why does he have big tits?
those
I don't know.
those are all cards. Anywho. Ah, shit. How do I mute? Doesn't matter. Anywho. Well, finally finished. Finally fucking finished. It's all done. It's all over. The stream is ending. I have to go to sleep. So thank you again to KIRIFUDARED for joining in the stream and airing things out with me. I appreciate it. I will be making another tweet when I finish this stream. Please, if you haven't already, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, right? Leave a comment, subscribe, do all the supportive shit, and yeah, I apologize for all the crap I've done, and let this be another notch on the late fucked up but made things better aspect. Anywho, so thank you all again. I bid you all good night. I'm tired.